Sean Jones. Sean Jones. Sean John. Jones Sean. Sean Jones.
Live from somewhere in Toronto.
Welcome to my podcast, Vex in the City.
You're listening to Vex in the City with your host, Sean Jones.
I know Jones this. Done them off with Vex in the City.
Live from somewhere in Toronto.
Welcome to the Six.
Where are you? Let's come outside, man. I'm waiting for you, man. Nigga Sean Jones, what the fuck is the deal, man? You're not even picking up your phone. Why do I have 25 numbers to be in my phone? I've been waiting for you for the last half an hour, man.
This is Vex in the City.
Yeah, when I rap it's like sugar.
Live from somewhere in the Six. This is Vex in the City.
I'm so vexed.
Yes, welcome. Greetings, salutations. Ladies and gentlemen, relax, make yourself at home. We got another edition of Vex in the City. We calling this one The Tank Rolls On for the month of April. But is it really tanking though? You know what? I don't even know. April has been one of those months that's just been really, really weird on all fronts. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, Easter weekend is one of my favorite weekends. You kind of look forward to it coming up. The weather is turning, getting better, but yet it snowed. It snowed this Easter. April's just been one of those real weird months. For example, we finally saw justice for George Floyd with the conviction of Derek Chauvin or whatever you want to call his name. But in the exact same week, we have Adam Toledo, 13 years old, Ma'Khia Bryant, 15 years old, and Dante Wright, 20 years old, gunned down by police in the same week. So what are we really celebrating here? It's a topsy-turvy month. I can't explain it. Like, the other day I watched the latest verses with Method Man versus Redman. One of the best verses ever. But in the same week, we lost DMX and Black Rob. I mean, and DMX to me, we're going to talk about this a little later as I get into my DMX tribute, but to me, DMX, he got into my top 5 of all time. And he wasn't there originally, but as is the case a lot of times when people pass on, you listen to their body of work over again. And I had to admit, DMX was so influential on the game, and his style was so indelible and so unique. He had to be put in my top 5, and I'm going to explain that a little later. But we got to talk about my team. We got to talk about, is this tanking? Yes, it's tanking. What the Raptors are doing, for the record, okay, they are 7-5 or 7-6, 7-6 for the month of April. I mean, what do you want to say? This is a team that's out here losing to the Oklahoma City Blunder and the New York Tricks, but yet they're out here clubbing the Brooklyn Nets like baby seals. What's going on here? What's happening? Are they tanking? Like, what's going? Yes, they're tanking, but at the same time, they're developing players and they're showing a little bit of attitude and a little bit of backbone. For example, yeah, they can lose to the Thunder, but they can also beat Brooklyn or Denver or Philly or Milwaukee. Like, they've shown that they can do this year. You know what? Let's take a quick recap. That's the way we like to do things around here. Let's take a quick recap.
Bulls at Raptors.
Absolutely sensational. 38 points, 19 rebounds. Raptors fall to the Bulls. Boucher gave everything he had and more.
Hawks at Raptors.
There's Flynn turning, firing, doesn't go. And Goodwin with it in a reach-in. 5-point game, 2.1 to go. And the second doesn't go. And that's going to do it, a 5-point win for the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah. Lakers at Raptors.
Nurse, Raptors fall tonight, 110-101. They were down 34, but...
Raptors at Thunder.
And the Thunder able to withstand the early Toronto shooting. Not only to catch the Raptors, but to fly right by them for a 113-103 win.
Okay, so what? 4 losses in a row, which is kind of what we've been used to around here. But then all of a sudden to follow it up with this?
Spurs at Raptors.
Raptors are going to come away with a victory against San Antonio, and they win their second game of the season on the second night of a back-to-back, and a season-high 54 rebounds.
Magic at Raptors.
And Paul Watson with a career-high 30, and the Toronto Raptors come away with the victory, 113-102. Kem Birch had 7 points.
Nets at Raptors.
And that's going to do it. The Raptors have won 4 in a row.
Thunder at Raptors.
You brought it up because I was going to follow up my last one with that. And what a good, solid win for the Toronto Raptors.
Raptors win it, and Chris Boucher.
All right, so let's just stop all this. Let's stop with the recap of the month, and let's stop getting into the numbers and worrying about whether we're tanking, or let's not even look at the record. I've been saying since the outset of this season, there has been an agenda by either management or the coaching staff, and there's a disconnect with that agenda. You don't believe me? Let's ask Kyle Lowry.
Also wanted to ask you about the rest nights. Last time we talked to you a few weeks ago, you mentioned that the toe was pretty much healed. Is it still sort of a matter of managing that? And do you guys have a plan for the rest of the season in terms of how you guys are going to handle those rest nights?
Let's put it this way, I'm very well rested. I'm very healthy, and I'm very, 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 very well rested.
Do you have a say in those? Like, is it a collaborative decision when you're sitting out, or is that something that the medical staff and the team has handled?
I'm fully healthy, and I'm very, very well rested.
Well, good to have you back, Kyle. Thank you. Have a good night, man.
Good night.
Next.
Oh, man. Look. I've been saying it, that management wanted to tank. They wanted a top 5 pick. This is what they wanted. A lot of people want to be geniuses and overthink things when they say, replacing Ibaka with Baines shouldn't have meant that all of a sudden we're this terrible team. Well, yes, it does. I'm telling you, it does. Because that particular position of need on our team basically dictated how our season was going to go. And management knew this. That is why they held on to Baines. That's why they didn't get any replacements. Now, at the behest of one Mr. Nick Nurse, he probably couldn't take it anymore. For his stress levels, management decided they're going to get these two players in Freddie Gillespie and Kem Birch. Pardon me, Kem Birch. Let me put some respect on his name, because all it takes is a couple of guys who can rebound and provide some rim protection to turn this entire team around. I don't care what the numbers say from 1 to 8, what the seeds are. Nobody wants to play this Raptors team in the playoffs, especially now that we have a couple of centers that can get some rebounds and block some shots. Don't believe me? Let's ask Adrian Griffin and listen to him take subtle shots at one Mr. Baines.
Has it allowed you to change schemes very much? And are they quick learners in that regard?
They're very good learners, but I would think, at first we have to start with the basics, just getting them acclimated to the way we defend our basic pick and rolls, and just be really good at that and just not try to overwhelm them in the beginning. And today we worked on some different coverages actually, and they've been picking it up fairly quick. I think they're very versatile. I think we're going to probably look at some switching down the line, maybe 1 through 5. And I think it's fun to have bigs. The last time we really had bigs when we had Mark and Serge. So having those two guys out there as a defensive-minded coach, I'm licking my chops.
Thanks very much, Adrian. Appreciate it as always.
I mean, I don't even want to pile on and laugh at the guy. I mean, he's been taking enough. He's been taking enough in the media, but I even see like TSN guys taking shots at Baines and like, oh, look at Baines over there. With the, don't pile on the guy. Listen, it's not his fault. He's 35 years old, can't bend at the waist or the knees, and he took $7 million to basically drag his team down. Don't pile on to him. Pile on management. They're the ones that knew what they were doing when they orchestrated this tank, because we are tanking and we are getting a top 5 pick out of all of this. And out of all of this, no team wants to face the Raptors next year with a couple of free agents and a couple of draft picks. You don't want that. As much as we're killing Pascal Siakam and to a lesser degree Freddie, those guys are going to come back as beasts next year. So relax. Enjoy the development of OG, who's turning into a beast himself. Enjoy the development of one Mr. Malachi Flynn and Freddie Gillespie. I'm excited about this dude because I know he's one of those late bloomers. He's one of those guys who picked up the game late. And if you can get them young and mold them, this guy looks like he could be a beast for years to come. He could definitely be a starting center in the NBA one day. I mean, right now he's a backup, but at his growth curve and his growth rate, who knows? And I like what the Raptors are doing with that. I really do. Switching gears for a second, I did need to talk about what I had brought up earlier with DMX. Now, when I think of DMX, I think of somebody who changed the game in a multitude of ways. But most noteworthy, his stamp on the game, DMX mastered the call and response rhyme. Now, as an artist myself, you pick up things from other artists and, there's storytelling rhymes. You got the battle rhymes, you got the smooth rhymes, you got rhymes about girl, but DMX was the one who brought the call and response. Like, you say a line, it's like, what? And response. But he mastered the call and response with himself. Incredible. I've never heard anybody have a full conversation in a rhyme like DMX did with himself and make it sound so nice and authentic that it couldn't be replicated. So much so that he was almost like a caricature of himself in real life. DMX would talk in real life, and because of how animated he was and how he talked, you would think he's rhyming. And vice versa, when he's rhyming on a record, you would think he's talking. And that's the most unique trait I've seen about DMX. He made it sound so nice. I remember before he even came with his album, and he did a guest appearance on 4321 LL Cool J's joint. And this is before he got big, and I heard DMX was gonna be on it, and I wasn't really feeling his style back then. But if you go back and listen to that track, DMX, besides Cannabis, who undoubtedly stole that song, but DMX quietly had the second best verse on that joint, and he killed it. Now, when I think of DMX, I think of, you know, how he changed the game and his influence and his style and how unique he was. But I also think about the pain he was in and why he named himself Dark Man X. He was in a lot of pain, and usually people who are in a lot of pain that die young, in their last months or so, their year or so, they have a moment of clarity and they're at their happiest. And I saw DMX at his happiest a week or so before he passed. I saw him at his happiest at the versus Snoop Dogg, which was incredible. And he won that battle, by the way. He won that battle. I don't care if Snoop has bigger heads. DMX selected his tunes in the right way to win a battle, and that's how you win a battle. He won that battle. And when he won that battle, he brought me back to his music, and I started to listen to some of his joints again and give him the respect that he deserves. But giving even more respect that he deserves is, I think back to a Mad TV sketch with Aries Spears. Now, Aries Spears, he does a lot of imitation of a lot of artists, and he does a great imitation of DMX. And I think back to this particular skit from Mad TV, DMX, Aries Spears.
It's good to be back, you know what I'm saying? Glad to be home. I need to talk to you, though, you know, because I'm having trouble with women. You know, I know you said don't let these hoes stress me and everything, but it's like all they see is the celebrity, you know what I'm saying? They don't see me, the person that I am, you know what I'm saying? I need help, ma.
Yo, son, relax. First off, I'm gonna put you up on that. I mean, like I told you, you need to stop messing with these chicken heads from the top.
See, that's just it, you know what I'm saying? It ain't the chicken heads that I'm sticking when I'm on the road. It's Angie. I can't seem to do nothing to please her. You know what I'm saying? I need help, ma.
Oh. It's all right, son. It's all right.
I need love.
I need love! What is that? You can start off by acting like a man. Now, look, son, I know it's hard out here, but I'm gonna put you up, all right? Don't cry. Have a seat. Now, what you doing to show her that you care?
I be telling her I care, you know what I'm saying? I be lacing her with ice. I got a bicycle with 20-inch rims. I got a pit bull puppy, you know what I'm saying? What else can I do?
Son, start up. Yo, slow your roll. The first thing you need to do is show some tenderness, you know what I mean? You're gonna come at these ladies gently. Show her the softer side of her.
But how do I show her the softer side of her?
Son, you gotta start off with romance. Romance is the key. You gotta give her your heart. Your father tried to give me gifts, Boone's Farms and cigarettes, but all I ever really wanted was his heart.
I'm feeling you, ma.
Uh-huh.
PMD, put me down, because I'm listening.
All right, first things first. You gotta get on one knee.
Yeah.
You gotta take a hand. You gotta caress it. You gotta look in her eyes. Look at my eyes, dog, look at my eyes. Right. Second thing you gotta do is shed that hardcore rapper image. You gotta show her just how soft and sensitive Earl can be. Now you try it. Be rough, dog. Give it to me.
I love you, yo.
Uh-huh.
Yo, that's
Get your dog.
All right. Ange, what up?
Hey.
Angie, it's Mama Law. Mama Law, it's Angie.
Hey.
How you doing, Angie? Do me a favor. Turn around. Let me see you.
I see that thing right there. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, now look. I'm gonna go do some things. I'm gonna give y'all some time. All right? Remember what I told you?
Yeah.
Be you.
All right.
Make Mama proud.
All right.
Hey, baby. So we going to that party
Come
tonight?
sit down for a minute. You know, I want to talk to you. 1 minute, you know?
I will hurry it up because I'm trying to get it crunk. Oh!
See, that's just it. I don't think we should go to the party tonight. Why don't we just sit by the fire and hug each other and hold each other? Because I want you to see the softer side of Earl.
DMX, you crazy. Sit by the fire. You ain't even got no fireplace. Come on, let's go to the party. Let's go.
Hold on. Tonight, if we go out, you're not going out with DMX. You're going out with Earl.
You tripping. Oh, you tripping. I'm that soft side Earl, soft side. I don't want to go out with no Earl. I want to go out with a hardcore rapper who can put me in a video. What about what I want? What about my needs? I want to be a hoe. You know what? You whack. That's your problem. You whack. You a punk.
Yo, Sade! I know you didn't just call my dog a punk.
Well, he is.
Yo, step back, son. I'm about to body this bitch.
Oh, no, you not.
Come here.
Get away from me.
Come here.
Oh,
Come here.
lady. I'm playing with you.
Get out of here.
Let me tell you something. I'm coming back. When I do, I'm bringing my mama, and she gonna bust your ass.
Yo, go get the bitch. Yo, son, I apologize. You know what I mean? Some women don't want a real man. They want an image. But you gotta rise above that all the time. Be you, no matter what.
You know what? I'm glad I got somebody like you to show me what a real woman is.
No doubt. Yo, son, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go in the basement and blaze some trees.
Let's do that.
Let's go. Uh-huh.
Oh man, just an incredible artist, incredible range, really funny, totally unique, and we lost him. We also lost Black Rob, who, from Bad Boy, Black Rob, let me tell you about Black Rob. Black Rob had this joint, right? He had a single. As with a lot of cases with artists, they have like a big single, and that single comes out before their album. And the singles jump and everybody loves the joint. Now, Black Rob came with Whoa. This joint was rocking the city. It's like the song of the year for that time. All right? Now, I didn't think Black Rob had it in him to pull off a solo LP. I thought he was just like a flash in the pan, a one-song wonder, and he had that Whoa joint. Never forget the time in the summertime, me, Avery, Kid Fenton, out in the whip when Fenton used to have the red Civic, and we used to tear up the city, and he had the Black Rob joint, the Rob Report. And we were going downtown, and there was traffic downtown, and he put in the joint, and we listened to the CD back to front, and it rocked me. Black Rob came out of left field and had like a hit. He had a 5-mic album, and I sat and I listened to the entire thing from front to back. So respect to Black Rob, and respect to DMX and Black Rob for their incredible collaboration with Mace and the Lox, 24 Hours to Live.
I want you to ask yourself one question. If you had 24 hours to live, what would you do? That's some deep shit right there. a lot of pressure. How would you handle it? Mace, what would you do?
Yo, I turn out all the hoes that's heterosexual. Smack conceited niggas right off the pedestal. I even look for my dad that I never knew, to show him how I look in my Beretta too. I do good shit like take kids from the ghetto, show them what they can have if they never settle. Take every white kid from high class level, show them what Christmas like growing up in the ghetto. Teach niggas how to spend, stash the rest. Give blunts to the niggas under massive stress. Give every bum on the street cash to invest in. Hope Harlem will blow up. Be my last request.
If I had 24 hours to kick the bucket, fuck it, I'd probably eat some fried chicken and drink a Nantucket. Then go get a job from Branson and make sure I leave my mother the money to take care of grandson. Load the 3 power, hop in the Eddie Bauer and go give all 6 to that poppy that sold me flour. Get a fresh baldy, make a few calls, shop at the mall, shoot a little ball, have all of my bitches in one telly at the same time, spread it out on different floors, and I'm gonna play lotto. For what? Even though I ain't gonna be here tomorrow, so what?
You know, when I was close to the ledge, I'd probably be in a wedge with this bad Spanish mommy playing between my legs. Then I'm off to get choked and smoke one of them dreads and get that bitch from 89 and gave us up to the feds. Thought her mama wrote her a note, we ain't close. I hate her boyfriend, so I put one in his throat. Fuck around and sniff an ounce of raw, bust the 4, pause, pull out my dick and take a piss on the floor. Jump in the whip, get them cats I wanted to get. Since the tavern on the Green robbery in 86, went home, took a shower in nice cold water, and spent my last hours with my son and my daughter.
You had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you wanna notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? You had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you wanna notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die?
If I had 24, nigga gotta get the raw. Run all in Poppy spot, put one in his head at the door. For the times that I paid for 20 and he gave me 12. The other 8 had to be baking soda by itself. So Poppy, fuck you. You dead now, I'm off to the bank with those bricks in the book bag and the stolen Jag I just grabbed. Run in there, grab the bank teller with the pretty face. Fuck her in the safe and have her take me to my place. We'll make a kid, but that's selfish and that'd be bad. For my son to have the same shit as Pops just had. And when I'm down to 23, I'ma be strapped with TNT. Run up in City Hall and take the judges with me.
24 hours to live, I'd probably die on the 5th. Running the station, squeezing the end. I'll be waiting to get the hell and bust down Satan. Styles on the shit and I got spots vacant. Back to the 24, I'll make it out the precinct, shooting niggas that I hate in they face while they're eating. I'm on the job, robbing every so-called dawn. Give the money to my mom and tell her that I'm gone. I would school my little brother that niggas mean I'm harmed. You should learn to tell the future without reading palms. When they coming with the bullets, you prepared with the bomb. So fuck being violent, get stocks and bonds.
24 left until my death, so I'm gonna waste a lot of lives, but I'll cherish every breath. I know exactly where I'm going, but I'ma send you there first. And with the shit that I'll be doing, I'ma send you there worse. I've been living with a curse, and now it's all about to end. But before I go, say hello to my little friend. But I got to make it right, reconcile with my mother. Try to explain to my son, tell my girl I love her. C4 up under the coat, snatch up my dog. Turn like 3 villains on Wall Street into a fog. Out with a bang, you will remember my name. I wanted to live forever, but this wasn't fame.
If you had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you wanna notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? If you had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you wanna notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? If you had 24 hours to live, just think. Yeah, where would you go? What would you do? Who would you screw? And who would you wanna notify? Or would your ass deny that your ass about to die? If you had 24 hours to live, just think. Where would you go?
Now, I didn't even want to get into a debate about which era is which and which era is the best, but ladies and gentlemen, tell me what's fucking with that? What's you know, with all respect to DMX, Black Rob, it's unfortunate that they didn't get their flowers when they were here, but when I'm seeing the love and outpouring of support for them now, is definitely worth it and definitely well deserved. DMX will go down in history as one of the most influential artists of all time. Respect, gentlemen. Moving on, we got a big show. We got a double edition show today. Vex in the City. I thought I might surprise y'all with a little stash them or dash them on the current Raptors roster. So stay tuned for that. We've also got real estate advice with my friend, my longtime friend, Walter Caceres of the Walter Caceres Real Estate Group. He's going to stop by, give us some real estate advice, tell us how the market is. Sell high. Nah, I'm not even going to put, I don't know enough about real estate, so that's why I'm having him on the show, maybe to talk about a few things. We've also got Miss Antoinette Ellis, and she is the CEO or co-CEO and co-founder of ACE and Company Limited. They're a recruiting firm for women, so you will definitely want to stick around and pay attention for that. What can I say? It's Vex in the City again. It's this weak-ass year in basketball and a weird month in general in basketball. We're just riding it out. You know what? We're kind of just riding it out. I don't know how many games are left, 12 or so, 13 or so, but we riding it out. And Jones is going to be right here with you to give you your commentary, to give you your info, to give you the latest scoop, to give you Vex in the City. Let's get at it, man.
You're listening to Vex in the City with your host, Sean Jones.
Hey, you don't understand.
Vex in the City. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'm very excited to welcome my friend, my sistren from back in the days in Woodlands. And now I'm so proud of some of the things that she's doing now. She is CEO and co-founder of ACE and Company Limited, which is a recruiting firm for women. And I'm so excited to have her on the show. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Antoinette Ellis.
Hello, and thank you for having me, Sean. This is an amazing opportunity.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, first of all. And we go way back. And before I even get into anything work-related, anything sports-related, I got to ask you, what's your favorite DMX song?
Oh, man, you're putting me on the spot.
Oh, that's right. People don't know, this is my hip-hop sistren from back in the day. So I gotta get that out of the way first.
Oh my gosh, what is my favorite DMX song?
Yeah.
I would say Rough Riders.
Rough Riders Anthem. Good choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I went to see DMX twice. Once in Toronto with Jay-Z and then again in Atlanta with Jay-Z. Years ago.
And the energy of that concert, I don't even have to guess or ask you. It was probably off the hook. DMX is one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites, so I had to get that out of the way first. Again, welcome. We kind of do a kind of free-for-all where I just want you to relax and answer me as if we're just hanging out. We're talking like we usually do. All right?
All right.
Okay, so now explain what ACE and Company is from your mouth, from your words.
So from my words, it's a recruitment firm that's dedicated to women finding successful careers in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Okay, all right. Now, how long have you been at this? How long have you been trying to get your company off the ground?
2 years.
2 years. So it was right around the last time I saw you on the train, you had said what you were doing and what you were planning to do. For just a little backstory, I used to travel downtown, and Antoinette used to travel downtown on the train. And one day I bumped into her on the train, and I asked, what is she doing? What is she planning to do for the future? She was tired of working for people, and she explained what she had in the pipeline, and I explained what I had in the pipeline. And here we are 2 years later. We've kind of made things happen. So I'm so glad to have you on the show to elaborate more on ACE and Company. So what do you have now? I understand you have a big launch coming up.
Yes, April 28th, we're finally doing our launch. It was a long process. 2 years is a long process. Right. But there comes a time where you can't wait for everything to be perfect. Right. You just got to go with your gut, trust in God, and go.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing.
And that's exactly what you did. I have always known you as a go-getter, so I wasn't surprised to see some of the success you're having, some of the engagements that you're doing. Really proud of that. Explain more in detail what you would do if somebody came to your company looking for employment or looking for advice. What would you do?
Okay, so let's give a little bit of background first of why we created this. This will explain what is it that we do. So my husband and I co-founded this because we felt that there's still not enough women represented in male-dominated fields. For example, even technology. So over the 2 years, it was been a lot of conversation and just getting some data and getting some feedback. So I spoke to many different VPs and presidents of different companies, and they're always saying the same thing. They want to hire more women, but not enough women are applying, or not enough women have the skill sets that they're looking for. Right? So when we dug deep into that, we're like, okay, well, what is it that we can do to actually help move this forward? And this is not just in technology, it's in science, in engineering, and even arts and math. And so we wanted to have like a holistic recruitment firm, meaning helping people from the beginning. So building this whole time frame, or a framework, you should say, from education right into the position. So at ACE and Co, we actually work with educators to help them understand the different careers that are available right now in STEAM, so science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. We're talking to corporations and businesses and startups who want to hire more women and have gender diversity to find out, what it is that they're looking for and the skill sets. And we're working with women who either are a fresh graduate from college and university, or if they're a professional that's looking to move around in their career, or if they want to go into that C-suite, because that's another thing. Not enough women are CEOs, CIOs, CTOs, right? So how do we get them there? And our recruitment firm is not just another job placement. It's actually taking people on that kind of journey. So if we, the middle people, work with a corporation and we find someone to fit in that role, it's not just, okay, you got your job, bye, but we're going to follow up. So 3 months later, how is it so far? You've done the probation period. Are you happy? Did the job say they were going to fulfill what what you were asking for? Right. And then on the other end as well, asking these corporations, like, how is it going so far? Is this the candidate that you were looking for, and so forth? As a social enterprise, though, there is the Sustainable Development Goals, which I don't know if you're familiar with. It's from United Nations, and there's 17 goals that are addressed for the global, like how can we actually make this world a better place, make it simple.
Right.
And we are working on goal number 5, which is gender equality, right? So making sure that we get these women into these roles, that they are happy. We're talking to educators to get these girls excited to pursue a career in STEAM. But most importantly, part of our proceeds will go towards creating ACE scholarships, which means it'll go towards women, girls who are pursuing a STEAM career but may not have the finances to do so.
That's great.
So that is really the whole purpose behind it, and that's what we're doing.
That's fantastic. Glad you gave that backstory too as well, and a little dip into some of the numbers. But I'd like to ask you, give me an example of some of the companies or the firms that you're working with, that you have a direct relationship with.
So this is the thing, we're just launching, right? So we're launching in Wednesday, April 28th. What I could tell you is what are the type of corporations that we do want to work with.
Right.
And that will be anywhere from big corporations like your big banks or your technology companies to even small startups, right? Right. So we are being flexible, and we're working with independent recruiters that are experts in the fields of science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So we're looking for independent recruiters to work with us, corporations to work with us, and career coaches, which we find it's very important to actually keep the conversation going.
Now, when these people talk to you, what are some of the numbers they give in terms of underrepresentation for women? Or are they looking for a quota maybe to fill? Or what are they telling you about women in STEAM?
Like I mentioned before, that there's just not enough, or they don't have a pool of people to pull from. So what's funny though, is depending on who you speak to, you'll always hear a different kind of story. So I spoke to somebody else, and they're saying, well, there's a lot of women that are pursuing education in STEAM. It's just the corporations are not hiring them. And then we have the corporations that are saying that, we want to, but they're not. So where's that disconnect, right? When we want to talk about stats, just the other day in Statista, I found that it said, I think it was under 30% of women actually hold tech positions at major tech companies. So like Amazon and so forth. I don't believe that. But the thing is, if we start focusing on just these stats, we're not going to go anywhere. Right. They already said that there's only 2% of women of color actually make it to the C-suite. So when somebody hears that, you're going to be like, well, what are my chances? The thing with ACE and CO is we want to make sure that women are not focused on the stats. We are focusing on creating our own narrative. Right? So you have a game plan of where you want to be and how you want to get there. ACE and Co is trying to work with you on how to do that. If you're a corporation or a business that wants to make sure that you have gender diversity or gender equality, ACE and Co is going to work with you to get there. Right? So it's keeping that communication going, and forget the stats. The stats are important. The data is important because it tells you what you need to do and the work that needs to be done. But what you really need to be focusing on is, how are we changing those stats?
Yeah, very, very, very true. Like I can tell you firsthand, I work in IT, so I can tell you firsthand, seeing a woman in any of the jobs that I've had was very rare. I rarely saw it at all. And if I did, they were grossly misrepresented. But they had the skills to compete with any man. It's IT. It's not rocket science. So this is very encouraging. I was even excited to hear about some of the other fields, the science. Give me an example of some of the jobs that you feel you can match people up with.
Okay, so let's talk with tech, software developers, UI experience. Let's see, there's so many on top of my head that can't even come through. Right. And when it comes to sciences, life sciences, so if you wanted to be a medical lab technician, let's see, what else? If you are, and also arts is very important in STEM, which is now STEAM, and a lot of people don't realize that. So even if you were an animator, how do you get into those fields and those jobs, right? If you were wanted to design games and all of that too. And another misconception is arts is not just about the designer user experience, but arts is also incorporating any form of arts with science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. So for example, on our launch, we have a guest speaker, which is Dr. Merritt Moore, who is a quantum physicist and a professional ballerina.
Right.
So she has two professions.
Yeah.
And she's been able to cross over with the both of them. right? And I'm not going to tell you how you have to join the launch for that, but there's things like that too. So there's existing jobs that are out there, like the software developers and so much more, but there's also people that are doing the unknown. We want to know what those are. What are the possibilities are? What are people are passionate about they want to make a career out of?
Sure. Yeah. So have you had like suggestions from, I know you haven't officially launched, but you must have some sort of idea, some suggestions of one of those career opportunities where people say, you know, I want to do this, and you may have not thought of that before. So
what do you mean, like suggestions?
So
of
if somebody
what
says,
careers?
I want to be, like you had said, I want to be an animator, I want to be a graphic designer.
Yes.
You know, so take me through how you would match them up, how you would say, okay, well, here's the position that we have for you, or here's the position that you, or steer them in the right direction.
Okay, so what we would do is we take a look at, okay, your skill set. So you can't just say that you want to be a graphic designer or animator, but don't have the skills or haven't gone to school for that, right?
Right.
So importantly, we're taking a look at what your skill sets are. You know, what did you graduate from? What experience do you have? Also, we also look at now the companies that have the positions available. Of course, you want to see if the skill sets are a match, but most importantly, when people really don't remember, is that soft skills are super important. Right. So does that candidate's soft skills meet with the corporation or the company's culture?
Right.
Right? Of what
and I can
they're
tell
looking
you,
for.
Yeah, I can tell you firsthand, like in IT guys don't have soft skills. They're geeks. They don't really interact well. They're kind of hermits. A lot of the time they're sitting in the back room. They're not very sociable. So I can tell in the soft skills department, females are naturally better at that than we are. They're naturally more cordial. They may even be more motivated than the average guy in IT. So I can tell you firsthand, it's needed. You know, enough people say they call the IT office and they never get an answer. So I can tell you right now, it's needed. We need those type of soft skills in the IT industry.
Yes, and I also sit on the Ryerson Technology Program Council, and these are the things that we're talking about. We had a professor ask us, like, as industry expertise, what is industry looking for? And the top one thing they said was the person has to have the soft skills, because skill sets you can learn. You can go to school, you can take some courses, you can actually develop your skills, you can learn. But they also want to have that soft skills person, because if they come up across somebody who has the skill sets, but maybe they're difficult to work with, it's going to be a challenge.
It is
so
a challenge.
For all of those people who are, yes, tech, and they think, you know, they could stay in their bubble, yeah, you can, but if you really want to move on and grow and get outside of that bubble, you have to incorporate the soft skills too.
Right. This is exactly the type of perspective that I needed on my show. I always had you in mind, though. I always had you in mind since we had that talk on the train, and you put words to action, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Just like another entrepreneur that I told earlier, Granville, you two have been an inspiration to all of us. I don't know if people tell you that enough, but we are so proud, and I'm so proud that I went to school with you. I'm so proud that you're my sister, and I got a little DMX set coming up for you later, so be sure to tune into that. I have a little surprise with the DMX and Black Rob, but Antoinette, I just want to thank you for coming on my show, and we can talk about anything. Like, I mean, I'm gonna have you on again, but we can talk about
that's
anything.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely have me on. I'll be glad to come on. There's so much things we could explore.
Right.
Just one thing too, a lot of people think when they hear STEAM, they think technology. STEAM is everything you could think of, from website app designer, from a photographer, from a fashion designer, from pilot to astronaut you name it. So telling people, keep your minds open.
That's what I think people are most excited about. That they want to know, well, what kind of jobs there are out there in STEAM, and just you saying that, I know that's going to open up a lot of eyes and ears right there.
Yes, definitely.
All right, my friend. Well, thank you for coming on my show. We hope to have you on again. I'm giving you your flowers now. As I said, I appreciate you and everything you've done. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sean. It was an honor to be on the show and to be the first woman. I really appreciate that.
No problem. All right.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
This is Vex in the City.
Okay, I'm really excited about this part of the show. As a matter of fact, we've got a special guest who came all the way from ESPN. He came from ESPN to give me actually some pointers, to give me some advice, maybe some sage advice on my journey of podcasting. But before I call him out, I just wanted to know if y'all got the Corliss Williamson reference, right? I mean, I wanted Corliss Williamson in the 95 draft. Ironically, a couple of years later, the Raptors got him, and he immediately proceeded to become Scoreless Williamson. I said, the Raptors got him in a trade, and he immediately became Scoreless Williamson. Anyways, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from ESPN, we've got the one and only Mr. Skip Playlist. Skip Playlist, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Playlist. Mr. Playlist. Skip Playlist, ladies and gentlemen. Skip Playlist. So, Skip, tell me, what is this advice that you want to give me? What can I use? Yeah. Okay, I got. Okay, and what would you say is something I should look out for, or something I should be wary of? All right, I got that too. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Skip Playlist. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Playlist. Thank you, Skip Playlist. Okay.
It's Culture Kid, the one and only to listen to in Toronto, Canada. Remember that.
Yo, Foxy Go. Stand clear to be plugged up in the line 1 and 2.
Live from somewhere in the six. This is Vex in the City.
Answering any other service, prerogative raised positively, I'm acquitted. Enemies. Answering any other service, prerogative raised positively, I'm acquitted. Enemies.
It's time to get Vex in the City.
Answering any other service, prerogative raised positively, I'm acquitted. Enemies publicly shame my utility. After the battle, their admittance, I'm with it. Simply sued, well moved, vinyl like glue. Transistors are never more shown. Like wind vocal flow, brings it all down the road. Bring to a clue of a naughty noise called fuck tune.
Relax your mind, let your conscience be free and get down to the sounds of your PMD. But you should keep quiet while the MC rap. But if you're tired, then go take a nap. Or stay awake and watch the show I take. Because right now, I'm about to shake and bake. The EICK is my name I spell. Thanks to the clientele, yo, I rock well. I'm not an MC who talking all that junk about who can beat who. Sound like a punk. I just get down and I go for mine. Stay check 1, 2, and run down the line.
To the average MC,
I'm known as the Terminator, funky beat maker, new jack exterminator, destroying a ploy when your rhymes are not void. Never sweating the girl, why ready? She's a schizoid.
Rapper stepping to me, didn't want to get some, but I'm the king, so yo, you know the outcome. Another forgery, you can't get with me, so pick a BC date, cause you are history. I'm the authentic poet to get lyrical. For you to beat me, it's gonna take a miracle. And stepping to me, yo, that's the wrong move. So what you on, huh? Dope a dog food, competition, I just devour. Like a pit bull against a chihuahua. Cause when it comes to being dope, hot damn, I got it good. Now let me tell you who I am.
Thinking of a master plan. Death with the record. Death with the record. Thinking of a master plan. Death with the record. Death with the record. Thinking of a master plan. This ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. So I dig into my pocket, all my money spent. So I get deep up, still coming up for lint. So I start my mission, leave my residence, thinking how could I get some dead presidents. I need money. I used to be a stick-up kid, so I think of all the devious things I did. I used to roll up. I used to roll up. I used to roll up. This is a hole up. Ain't nothing funny. Stop smiling. We still don't nothing move but the money. But now I'm learning to earn cause I'm righteous. I feel great, so maybe I might just search for a 9 to 5. If I strive, then maybe I'll stay alive. So I'll walk up the street, whistling this, feeling out of place, cause man do I miss a pen and a paper, a stereo, a taper. Me and Eric being a nice big plate of fish, which is my favorite dish. But without the money, it's still a wish. Cause I'm
that's me, the king, the MC. Speak to the rhyme of the rhyme I just made. That's me, the king, the MC. Speak to the rhyme of the rhyme I just made. Party at the damage to life tonight, babe. Trooping from the country, we all get paid, so let's go. Yo, that's me, the king, the MC. Rhyme get mine on the T.O.P. Can another MC ever fuck with me? I think very deeply. It's like the A or B to the C. It's in here. Very deeply. Where, why, or when will all be explained like instructions to a game. See, I'm not insane, in fact, I'm kind of rational. When I'm asking you which one dramatic is this one or that one, the white one or the black one. Black the punk and I'll jump up to attack one. This one is just without a leader. Right up to your face and dish you. You saw me on the last album cover. Holding a pickle, something far from a lover.
When you say you love me, it doesn't matter. It goes into my head as just chit chatter. You may think it's egotistical or just very free, but what you say, I take none of it seriously. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you so. I'd let you pretend to read me, and then you'd know. Cause I hate when one attempts to analyze. In fact, I despise those who even try to look into my eyes to see what I am thinking. That dream is over, your yacht is sinking. I tell all of you, like I told all of them, what you say to me is just paper thin. Word.
This is Facts in the City.
No man may get vexed. I'm not the kind of girl to try to play a man out. I take the money and the kids and break the hell out. No, that's not my strategy, not the game I play. I admit I play a game with a strategy.
Ingredients becoming correct. We select on the set beats and rhymes that are both in check. Errbody behind the board code, getting respect. We are in play, in total effect. We're getting funky, up to par, and that's with a hyped up beat. Just laying on the guitar, you'll feel the bass. It's soft and wet, yes honey, you'll get a taste. But not just yet, right money? The beat is live, troops, so don't fret on it.
Oh, this culture, kid, this
minute by minute, yo, hour by hour. Kid Ray got soul power, we get funky.
Culture, kid, John.
Ready in the intro, cue up the searchlight, round to the center stage. I grab the first mic, projecting the voice with this mic and I'm coughing. You ain't my knuckle, so I'm snuffing. The word of the third chance, truce and no panicking. Man versus man, you freeze up like a mannequin. Petrol, you let go the wax for the new jacks. The dweller point is stepping on the trigger as the tune smash. Square in the butt. Beat gave me the cue, so I'ma put up a shut up until my jam is through. But for now, I wanna freak 'em, so I'll involve. Just spark and mission 5 feet away past dog.
Yo, it was one of those days, not much to do. I was chilling downtown with my old school crew. I went into a store to buy a slice of pizza. I bumped into a girl named Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa, so many. You know what I'm saying? So I say, excuse me there.
I
I used to be in love with this girl named Jill. I know why, because she had the butt like that of a hill. But you couldn't tell me nothing, cause Jill was number one. Cause to me, oh my God, how she made me come. I should've knew the consequences from the get-go. She used me like a puppy from a pet show, but like a fool in love. I fell for her game, but I got mine every time I came. You know the place, Flatbush Avenue, where I first met the hoe. I said, yo, haven't you been around before? Did we get down before? I forget, but I bet I met you in the store, Mickey D's. Yeah, now I remember. She said that was the school I needed money up September. This is a mission, not a small-time thing. Let me tell you about what happened when the phone went. Well, I was cooling at the crib with this girl, Suzanne, and everything was going just according to plan when the phone rang. Yo, I couldn't believe it, told myself to ignore it, forget it, leave it. Just when things started going great, it rang again. I said, hold up, wait. Picked up the phone, yo, who the hell is this? Somebody said this is serious business. There's a tape in the mailbox between your doors. Take the tape from the box and put it in yours. I listened to the tape and my mouth just dropped. I picked up the phone, but the man hung up and said, yo, this tape will self-destruct. I pressed the check, but the tape was stuck.
On and on and on and go take him to the crib and let's get on.
This culture, Kimo. This man.
Platinum Chanel cologne and I stay dressed to the best. Stop these bitches interest. Sex is all I expect if they watch TV in the left.
I got you stuck off the realness. We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge murderers. The mark comes equipped for warfare. Beware of my crime family who got enough shots to share for all those who wanna profile and pose. Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone. You all alone in these streets, cousin. Every man for theyself in his land, we be gunning. And keep them shook crews running like they supposed to. They come around, but they never come. Yeah. It's the real one, baby. Shot-town stand up. Southside, we gon' set the party alright. Westside, we gon' set the party alright. Man, I promise. She's so self-conscious. She has no idea what she's doing in college. That major that she majored in don't make no money, but she won't drop out. Her parents will look at her.
And on this killer not straight, killer not boss, killer pop it up and a killer short cross. Box it in a face, killer not blush, killer pass through boy left hand can trust. Yo, killer not run, killer not hide, killer in a middle rock car drive wide, killer not stress, killer not stress. Killer not suicide. How come it dip in a me pocket and pull up me a matty? Fast it try to run and right and me make you happy. Stepping on the road and in back in your black jacket. Them never believe this girl that would be such a good boy. Run come up in a me magnum boy. Stand up in front me shotgun boy. Disrespect me side the last one. And you lie, I disappear. Just what? I no want me, no want them hung. I no tell me, no tell them if them this want us, man them in a problem. And me go on, not fear them. No boy can't buy me out. Look man, I wear name brand on the ends and a hype, but the touch them find him out. Him never last a extra day on the ends because gunshot find him out. Yeah, some boy them a hype and a wear people things. Beg and them a borrow and a share people things. Friend me no beg, friend, yeah.
Give me that microphone, it's heavy D, the baritone, and I'm home alone, dig it. And I'm always staying freshly dipped from 1-2-5 with a dog's bark and a dreadlock to bitch smoking splits. Okay, it's heavy D again. Hallelujah, I'm on your TV screen again. You see me on your MTV and on your BET and on your local focal point video show. Nigga, that's how it flows. So I like an eagle. No sequel, no equal. I get love from all the thugs cause I'm still my people.
I got to you, I stay true to this rhyme thing I do. I highball a honey saying go clue. I flip a style from the projects built in 70. Hey, with the Parker 6C, I turn food stamps to green stamps to work power amps. And so weed under corner lamps. But now I'm just microphone talking. So when you see my ass, have my care, but just keep walking. Niggas got more game than Genesis. Seen a movie made in LA, now everybody menaces. But them youth don't trouble we because they fall victim to what they see.
Hey. Niggas know who's the mind blower, the weed grower. Have you seen doubles like Noah, the rhyme blower, B.I.G. Top notch with the Glock, check your pockets, in your sockets. Just the way my pops fuck me when I go to drop, check them thoroughly. The bastard might spin around and try to bury me, and dead men don't make no moves. While I'm swinging in the hood, I don't fake no moves, alright? Reminiscing on my
1, 2. Bring it to the folks, Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door. Ready to make an entrance, so back on up, cause you know we're about to rip shit up. Give me the microphone first so I can bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. Two coked out niggas so we're crazy. Death Row is a label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fake it.
I rock and stuff with my Afro punk.
Rock on with your man, say.
I rock and stuff with my Afro punk.
Rock on with your man, say.
doing, cause I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. I look funny, but yo, I'm making money, see? So yo, world, I hope you're ready for me. Now gather round. I'm the new fool in town, and my sound's laid down by the underground. I drink a bottle of Hennessy you got on your shelf, so just let me introduce myself.
This is Vax in the City.
No man me get vexed.
I get the story, bro. Y'all tucked in?
Now tuned into the greatest.
Here we go. Once upon a time, not long ago, when people wore pajamas and lived life slow, where laws were stern and justice stood, and people were behaving like they ought to good, there lived a little boy who was misled by another little boy, and this is what he said. Me and you tonight, we're gonna make some cash, robbing old folks and making the dash. They did the job, money came with ease, but one couldn't stop, it's like he had a disease. He robbed another and another, and a sister and a brother. Tried to rob a man who was a DT undercover. The cop grabbed his arm, he started acting erratic. He said, keep still, boy, no need for static. Punched him in his belly and he gave him a slap.
Hey, what this culture kid, what this man?
It's Culture Kid, the one and only to listen to in Toronto, Canada. Remember that.
Welcome to the 6. It's time to get Vax in the City.
Yeah. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the man solely responsible for my Raptors fandom and insanity. The man who got me my first job at what was then called the Sky Dome from the Walter Caceres Real Estate Group, Mr. Walter Stephen Caceres. Welcome, sir.
How you doing, Sean? How are you? Wow, I had to get the McDonald's gig. Wow.
I had to bring that up because
I forgot about that, buddy. We were making $7.15 in grade 8 an hour.
It was life to me. Like that was, you know, it was a great point in my life. Like I was finally getting independent, going downtown.
Yeah, right.
And then all of a sudden, this team came out of nowhere. This Toronto Raptors team came out of nowhere and changed my life, and I know it changed yours as well. We're gonna get you to talk a little bit about your origins as a fan, because I know you're a big TFC guy as well. But yeah, probably the biggest TFC fan I know. But you're also one of the biggest Raptors fans I know. So please, your origin story, Mr. Caceres.
I'll tell you. Well, coming from South America, obviously being born in Peru, my soccer roots are just, embedded in us, right? So when I came to Canada, it was weird because nobody played soccer. In 81, 82, nobody played soccer. I really played baseball or hockey. And basketball was kind of, small. But then I'll never forget, you remember this, Sean, the very first time I fell in love with basketball was me, you, and the Brockies went to the Brockies' house and we went and we watched March Madness, and I'm a huge Q's fan. I'm a Syracuse Orangemen fan. Obviously, I think you are too. I don't remember.
Yeah, yep.
And
big
I
Orange
remember
fan.
watching. I believe it was Ronnie Cycli or what was his name? Douglas and Derek Coleman.
Yeah.
Right? I think that was 84 or something, 85 or something like that. And then of course Jordan getting drafted was just Jordan really is what got me mostly into basketball. Like shoes. He's my favorite pro athlete still to this day. Right. I love soccer so much, but Michael Jordan is my favorite pro athlete to this day. And playing basketball with you guys at Woodlands, watching all that stuff, bro. And then I was lucky and fortunate, obviously, because we love basketball. So when we got the Raptors, we were ecstatic. We got our own basketball team. That was amazing. But I'll never forget, man. I was working at the Lone Star Cafe, and the two girls I worked with were Raptor dancers.
All right, okay.
And they got me tickets for free to a game. And the game they got me tickets to were floor seats at the Sky Dome to see the Raptors play the Bulls.
Right.
And I'll never forget because, obviously, I love Michael Jordan, and everybody wanted to come with me, but you know what? My uncle, who loves basketball, and he was going back to Peru, I took my uncle instead, and I'll never forget that game. I mean, that's, I think, where I'll never forget that game. I've been to a lot of soccer events, football events, everything, hockey events, like championship games, but I'll never forget that game because I got to see Michael Jordan play live, which I'll never, ever, ever forget. And the best part of that game is we gave the Bulls their 10th loss of the season. You know, they went 80. I think they went 72-10 that year.
Right.
And we gave them their last loss. And the best part of the whole thing was the Bulls were down by 1, and you know there was, I think, 1 second left, 2 seconds left, and they gave the ball to Jordan, and the time expired, but he still hit the shot. He still hit it, right?
Yeah.
Like they would have won the game if 1 more second. And so I was happy that we won, but I was also happy that I saw Michael Jordan hit that last, you know, that game-winning shot, right? Even though he missed it, right? And then after that, bro, I mean, I still worked at the Sky Dome the year that they came for, like, I think 3 games or 4 games. And I was working there while they were slowly, like, you know, playing at the Sky Dome. That was a terrible, terrible stadium.
I remember. I remember Sprite Zone, sitting up in the Sprite Zone, like you could barely see, but just as long as you were in the building, like you were part of the atmosphere.
Bro.
That was
honestly, playing
it.
basketball with you guys at Woodlands, playing basketball on my home court in my building, like, it's funny because, you know, they feed you hockey here, right? So much, right? And obviously I'm still a huge Leaf fan. But honestly, going to Woodlands changed everything because then we were playing basketball all the time, right? I didn't have to play hockey everywhere. I didn't have to play baseball anymore. You know, now I'm playing basketball all the time with you guys, right? We're playing soccer, right? So now I think Woodlands is where I found my niche to, you know, express the things I love, right?
Right. So let me ask you about this. I've got sons in basketball. So the big question for you now, for your son, Silas, is what's the sport going to be? Is it hockey? Is it baseball? Is it basketball?
You know what? His 2 favorite sports to play with are basketball and soccer.
Right. So just like us.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he is obviously like his dad because I play soccer, obviously, right? And obviously I'm injured, so my son has been watching me play soccer since he was born. So he took that his first love is soccer. So he plays soccer. I got him in an academy. But every chance we get, especially during this pandemic, we're outside shooting hoops and playing basketball as much as we can. He loves the Raptors.
Right.
Like he prefers. See, that's the thing. He loves to play soccer more than basketball, but he loves to watch basketball more than soccer.
That's my son's the same thing. Yeah, the twins are the same thing. They love to play, but watching basketball is like a big thing to them. Like I can literally let them sit down and watch a whole game. And you know it's hard for kids to sit down and watch a whole game, but they're that much into the presentation that is the Raptors that, you know, they're just big fans like that.
Well, you know what? When I'll tell you, there's things in life you'll always remember, especially with your kids, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have my son the day that Raptors won the championship, but I called his mom and said, listen, there's not many things I'm going to share in my life with my son that are very special. So do you mind if I take him home tonight and watch the finals with me? Now, I could have gone downtown. I could have done everything.
Yeah.
My son is a huge Raptors fan like me, and I decided to share that moment with him, right? And honestly, when they won that championship, and I had my son here with me, just me and him, you know, in my room, we were all geared up, Raptor gear, flags, everything, we were all geared up, and it like, we'll always remember that. I'll never forget when someone says,
I was going to ask you. That was my next question, actually. Like, where were you the moment they finally won? When all those years of fandom paid off? Where were you? What were you doing? What were you and Silas wearing? Like, what's the deal?
Buddy, I'll send you a picture because I have a picture. You're like my favorite, honestly, first Raptor was Alvin Williams.
Okay, all right.
I love Damon Stoudemire, obviously, but Alvin Williams resonated with me because he was such a hard worker, such a gritty defender, good shooter, but you know, too bad because of his knees. But man, I thought if his knees weren't bad, I think he would have been a great player. You know, I loved his hustle. So he was my first jersey, Alvin Williams.
Okay. Okay.
And I wore the purple, the old school purple and black Alvin Williams jersey. Remember back then we used to wear them so baggy, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a triple XL on me or something, right? Which kind of almost fits now, unfortunately. Right? But we were sitting on my couch, honestly, and like I've had moments. I shared a post like a couple of years ago when the Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup, and Ovechkin finally won the Stanley Cup. And there was a little video of a man holding his son, right?
Right.
And as soon as the whistle blows, like the man starts crying, and he holds his son, and his son's crying. And they're both crying out of tears of joy. The kid must have been 8, 9, bro, my son's age.
Yeah.
And he was holding his son, and they were sharing that moment, right? And I was like, man, I want to share that moment with my son one of these days, whether it be the Jays or someone. I want to share that moment with my son, right? And buddy, I chose that. We sat in my living room. We watched, Curry missed that last final shot, and he just jumped on my chest. We just ran around the living room. Then it was time to put him to bed, obviously, because then I wanted to get my party on, right?
The same thing, like with my son, I had my son, my daughter. It was a surreal experience because since they were babies, they've heard me yelling at the TV, throwing temper tantrums, getting upset, changing my whole mood. So for them to come full circle and see me win it all, and I had tears like in my eyes. I couldn't believe it. It's hard to explain, right? So they were a part of that with me, and I'll never forget it. You know what? I'm not even gonna get nostalgic on that because I could start crying again. I could get emotional again.
You know what it is, bro? I think there's fans like us who played the sport, who follow the sport since time. Not just Silas. What's it? Not just Apple. Sorry, dog's eating something. Like we know the sport. Like we're not just the Raptors are good now, let's just follow the Raptors. We're not like what they call bandwagon fans, right? Like we follow the sport. It's like we can argue Jordan and LeBron because we've seen Jordan play.
Right.
We've seen Jordan play. We've seen the best. And we've seen the eras change. Like people tell me that LeBron and James have Michael play in this era when you can't touch him.
Well, you can't
Could you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Could you imagine? 60 points a game? Like
there would be so many flagrant fouls called. Come on.
How did you stop him? They couldn't stop him with those massive fouls. You think they're going to stop him now without being able to touch him? No way.
Not a chance.
But I think, like, watching our team, buddy, well, number one, basketball, as a franchise is overtaken the Leafs. They're more expensive than the Leafs now.
Right.
And the Leafs were what? We're the number one in hockey, number two in hockey. And it's just funny, buddy, because like from us watching, Big O, Oliver Miller, and Damon Stoudemire, and those guys, and I'm like you, man. I'm diehard for our team, and if you represent our team, like I'm not a fan of Vince Carter. People talk, I used to be a fan, and I appreciate everything he did for us.
Sure,
but he did quit on our team, in my opinion. He did quit on our team. He said it himself. Now you want to beg for afterwards? I'm like, listen, you would have just left normal. Okay, just like Chris Bosh.
Under normal circumstances.
Right. You can't leave here and then talk shit about us and then say, I didn't mean to say that, or I didn't,
Yeah, this is great. This is great to have you on the show because now I get to talk to another ball man about your opinions on. So let me ask you this: who's the greatest Raptor ever?
You know what? It's hard to argue against Kyle Lowry. It is very, very hard to, like, he won us a championship. He's been the heart and soul of our team. Vince Carter, I'm not going to say he put our country on the map. Like he took us from obscurity to like
every night on the
blew us up. He blew us up. I don't think we'd be as good without Vince Carter right now. I don't think we'd be where we were if not for Vince Carter, to be honest with you. So to me, it's a two-part question. I'll tell you that I think Kyle Lowry is probably the best Raptor because of his longevity, we've won a championship, his leadership.
Yeah.
But man, without Vince Carter, I don't think we're where we are today. You know, and as much as it irks me to give any praise to Vince Carter. Like, I used to love that guy like you know what I mean? Now I can't stand him. Not that I can't stand him anymore, you know what I mean? But you basically said you quit on our team, and you did the last part of the season, you know, and for you to say, hey, I didn't give it my all, like, we're like I consider our city like the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're like a steel town city. We appreciate our team. We're blue collar city, you know. We appreciate our players. We'll boo you the hell out of here too. You know, we're vocal. So, you know, we love and represent our city. So if you're gonna come talk trash to our city, then, buddy, you're gonna get booed.
You're gonna get booed. You're gonna get hated forever. You're gonna.
Buddy, I saw the doc. I don't know if you saw the Vince Carter documentary. I saw part of it where he's like, "Oh, it hurt him to be booed." I go, "Go F yourself, bro. You're joking. Hurt you to boo. Well, you shouldn't have said shit. You shouldn't have quit on our team. And now you wanna be a one-day contact with the Raptor? No, Kyle Lowry gets that.
Kyle Lowry gets a lifetime pass with the Raptors.
Yeah, whatever he wants to do. You know what I mean? And listen. And sometimes, bro, I don't understand athletes. Why? Like, I understand why you want to go home. But, man, who does not want to defend that title at least 1 year? You know?
So now we're getting into Kawhi now. So you are, how do you feel about the decision, Kawhi's decision?
Honestly, they're not going to win. You're not going to win with Paul George.
Right.
You're just not going to win with Paul George. I don't know. I think he's just a bad luck or curse to a team. He's a great player. I used to love Paul George, but he's become arrogant in my eyes, and I don't think he's going to win with him. And I think he paired up with the wrong guy. So I think he's made a massive mistake.
Massive mistake.
They don't want to stay in Toronto. I'd say, listen, okay, let's run it back one more time. Let's just try one more time. We're the defending champions. We've got to defend our title. I'll sign for 1 year, $35 million, and I'm out. You know?
Right.
Okay.
Nobody would have wronged him. Like, no. we would have supported that decision. Like, everyone in Toronto would have supported it.
We gave you the whole city. The whole city.
Whole country.
Who are you?
The whole country.
Buddy,
come on, man.
You're getting free food the rest of your life at whatever they call it, you know, wine and dine.
Hawaiian dine.
Right? And I'm like, dude, like, I was blessed, honestly, because, you know, part time I worked at the Scotiabank Arena, right? And I was blessed to be at every single playoff game, man. Like, every single. And let me tell you, man, I've been to a lot of playoff games. Raptors, Leafs. I've even been to hockey playoff games. I've been to NFL championship games, soccer championship games, and I can tell you some of the biggest moments in my life in sports. But, man, when Kawhi hit that shot against Embiid in Philadelphia, bro, that arena inside, bro, man, I never, like, the closest feeling I've got to that was probably when TFC won the championship here at home and we went nuts and everything, right? But, man, if not for concrete, bro, that building's falling down. The amount, like, I never felt that, but like, I've had goosebumps before, but I was like, I couldn't even breathe.
Right.
Like, I was just jumping, you know, we won the champ. We finally made it, like, all those years of, you know, and then the streets, bro. Oh my! Like, I remember when the Jays won the World Series. You know,
see, that was like a blessing and a curse for me because I tore my Achilles versus in Game 3 of that series, Game 3 against Philly. I tore my Achilles, so I'm a guy that would have been front and center downtown.
Yeah,
I mean, I worked downtown. I would have been there in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a blessing and a curse. I tore my Achilles, but whatever. We move on.
You know what, bro? I think, me personally, look, the times of sport have changed, obviously. Like, you know, I mean, I'm a fan of basketball. I love basketball, but I'm not a big fan of the big three everywhere. Like, could you just imagine Jordan going, okay, Magic.
Hell no.
Like, what the who would beat them? You know? Like, it's just... And you know what I love? I love watching them lose.
I love watching them lose too.
More than anything. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't care what you say. You can have 3 great players, but if you have an amazing 9-7 cast, a good team, they will always win. I truly believe, bro. If not for COVID, without Kawhi, we would have been in the NBA Finals last year.
Okay. That's I want to talk to you about that because my favorite Raptors team of all time, of all the years, the 27 years, my favorite team of all time was the Bubble Raptors, the Pandemic Raptors. That was my favorite team. I felt we could beat anyone.
Buddy, but do you remember the first game back. We played the
Back in
Lakers
the bubble.
and we
Yeah.
smashed them.
Oh my
we
God.
smashed them by like 25-30 with
that
LeBron.
That team was so. Their top 7. I would put against anyone in the league at that time. Anybody in the league.
Anybody.
The reason, the way we lost, and the reasons we lost to Boston, like many people could say a million things. You could say Pascal. You could say the refs.
We shot ourselves in Game 7.
Okay, I'm not even gonna go that far. I'm not even gonna go in the nitty gritty about shooting ourselves in Game 7, about giving Pascal the ball too much, forcing him. My main thing was, if that Game 7 was in Toronto, it's a wrap.
Oh, buddy, all day, all day.
We're laughing.
Even go 7. It doesn't even go 7 if it's.
It doesn't go 7. We get to play in Toronto. You're right.
And I'm telling you, we would have had the best record in the NBA. I think we had the best record in the NBA.
We had the second best record in the NBA that year.
Only to Milwaukee, right? So we would have got home court against the Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely. We got. Oh, come on.
And then we would have listen. And you know what? The disdain and the hate that we have, and we got championship pedigree now. We would have smashed LeBron. They were dying to say, "Yo, son, we're tired. You beat us for 8 years. You've been smashing us in the face, punching us in the face, stepping on our throat." And now we get a chance to do this, buddy, they would have won it back to throw it in Kawhi's face. 100%, man.
That would have been the ultimate ending.
Buddy, you could not say nothing about our team. You can't say, oh, this bullshit about Golden State injuries. But we still got to play the game, man. I'm sorry.
I'm not even going to talk about that, because every team has injuries. Every team has excuses. But if we won that bubble championship, nobody would ever been able to talk to me again. It'd be that simple.
I honestly, bro, my heart wholeheartedly believes we would have won that thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just shot ourselves in the foot against Boston, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
All right, we're getting kind of off track. Let me ask you one more.
Okay.
One more. What do you feel about the season so far this year, and what do you think they should do in the off season?
You know what, man? I honestly not really off topic, but I was watching this YouTube guy, American guy, right? Mm-hmm. He was like, "Yo, I have no interest in the Raptors," and he goes, "But I've been watching the Raptors games." He's like, "Holy, I've noticed a disparaging fouls." Like, this is an American guy talking from like Texas or something like that, right? And he was like, so I started focusing on this specific thing, and he was doing numbers, and the amount of like disparity between fouls, like the NBA is like literally doesn't give a fuck if they screw us. I mean, it's blatant. I don't understand it. Like, you see it every game, right? So look, our team goes 1-8 or 2-8 to start the season. Then we run up 14-7.
Right.
And then 5 starters get COVID. And you don't postpone our games, but you postpone Boston's game.
You postpone everyone else.
Philly's game. You postpone these guys' games when they're missing 2-3 players. When we're missing 5 players, or 3 of our starters.
What about the coaches? What about the coaching staff?
We have no coaches. We have to bring a coaching from, like, thank God that guy was, with that Italian guy, whatever. The guy was coaching, the guy who came in, I forget his name right now, right? You're just basically going, hey, listen, take your, like, I mean, I just think the NBA fucked us there, because they should have stopped. I mean, think about this. If they just canceled 5 games, because we went through we went 1-14 and
1-13 in March,
right? Yeah. Imagine just 5 of those games, buddy. We'd be 6, you know,
right?
6th, 7th with 5 more wins, you know.
So do you think that because of that the Raptors were forced into a tank, or do you just think?
Yes, I think so, honestly, because you have after that. Listen, I think we'll make the 10th spot for sure. I'm not like, because I truly believe now that Indiana lost their center, that Turner guy. I think they're gonna just because he's their driving force too, right? So I think they're gonna drop. I don't think Washington can sustain. The Bulls are the Bulls, so I think we'll make the playoff spot. But I think that's the best coach in the NBA by far.
By far,
I think, my opinion, he's the best coach in the. Look what he does with nobodies.
We've got G League players right now, and we won 3 games in a row, and he's just coaching G League guys.
Yeah,
come on,
against NBA players, right? We're facing good teams. Like, buddy, I'm telling you right now. Like, I think honestly, once in the playoffs. So, anyways, back to this team. I think they were forced to the tank now, but like I said, I think we have the best coach, and I think he'll get the 10th.
Yeah, I can see us even like if we get into the play-in game, I see us winning it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I see those top teams in the East, I see them scared because the Raptors are, again, a team with championship pedigree, and they've got nothing to lose. Like,
Buddy, once we get into the dance and we win the first play-in round, and then we just play a whole starting lineup and we play everybody healthy, nobody wants to play us. Nobody wants to play us. And you know what? Like, I just read today that Walter Caceres got his contract. Well, not guaranteed, but he got offered a contract for next year.
Right.
Look, I like Chris Boucher a lot, but man, that guy needs to eat some meat, or some chicken or something.
I think he's a situational player.
Yes,
he shouldn't be your everyday 4 or your everyday 5.
He's a good off the bench guy, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
I like Paul Watson. I like Paul Watson a lot.
Yep, me too.
I like Bembry. I like Bembry. Yep. I think Rodney Hood's still coming back. I like Rodney Hood as a veteran.
I like his size. I like he's 6'8". Like you can't teach height. Like that's 6'8".
You know basketball. Rodney Hood's he's been a good serviceable player for years. He's a good piece.
His injuries though are the only things that are holding him back.
Yeah.
So we've got Rodney Hood you want coming back, Bembry coming back, Boucher, Watson. That's 4 on our bench. Maybe a Gillespie, maybe a Burke.
You know what? Look, we need a center, man.
We need a starting center. We need a starting caliber center. Yep.
So I think he just hasn't had a chance.
Right.
So I think he's been playing decent. I like the Gillespie guy.
Yeah.
He's got some hops. But I think, look, like our foundation, honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to think about Siakam. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the $1 million question,
right?
What do you do with Siakam?
If he can be what we think he can be, then we're okay. Because Anunoby, I think honestly, in a year or two, is probably going to be one of the best defenders in the NBA.
Right. If he's not already.
He's so good, man. And obviously, Van Fleet, I think he's gonna be better than Kyle eventually.
Oh,
not
really?
Not as a player here, but I mean I think he can shoot, boy. I think he can shoot better than Kyle.
Well, yeah, I'll give him that as a spot up shooter.
And he's learning, man. But just like Malachi Flynn, buddy, over the last 5-10 games, I'm like, kid's impressive.
See, this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the young guys playing, and win or lose, like we got to see what we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Win or lose. So these young guys playing, the fact that we're winning these games is just a bonus. They need to get all this playing time. I like the direction the team is going. I like the young players. Next year coming back, we cut Baines, Stanley Johnson, and then we pick it up from there. But I do like the direction of the team. But we're getting way too sidetracked. What I really wanted you to come on the show for is your 16 years of experience in the real estate. Yeah. So let me tell me how you got into real estate. And
can we be honest on it? I mean, like, can I say the truth or?
Yeah, go ahead. Say the truth.
Okay.
Yep.
So when I was about 20, right, I used to go with this girl, a friend of mine, and we used to go for drives. And honestly, we go out and we blaze, right? And we blaze, and then we go to open houses.
Okay.
Right? And we're like 20. People are like, what are these stupid kids doing at this house, right? But we're playing it off like, oh yeah, our parents are gonna buy us a house, right? But we just like to do that, right? So I kind of started enjoying seeing houses, whatever, right? And then to my stupidity, bro, I was gonna become a real estate agent at the age of 23, and then I remember I went to roll a page to apply, and shaved head Walter, young, skinny, mother leg, and I went to this guy, and he's like, "You're too young, your look. Maybe you should wait a couple years." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I didn't know any better, right? Wish I didn't listen to that guy, because then I started at 28 is when I started getting my stuff. And honestly, bro, I'm a born salesman, so I know I can sell anything. I can sell ice to an Eskimo.
Anybody that knows it will verify that. Yeah.
Right? So but honestly, the fact that I could help people, bro, like we get paid well in our business. I think I've had success and longevity because I'm an honest agent, and like there's no such, like we get paid well, bro. But I'll tell you right now, when my clients get their key and open the door to that house and they come and they give me a hug, that moment right there is why I do this. That's like precious. Like you can't buy that. You can't pay that moment. Right. You can't pay me enough for how I feel when my clients give me a hug when they open their keys to that house and they walk in for the first time. That's theirs. That moment, buddy, I've experienced that moment hundreds and hundreds of times. And I can't tell you how much it fills my heart when that happens, you know? And honestly, when I started, I'll never forget, I started with, I think, Sutton Group I started with, right? And I was going to work for this guy, Wayne Muir. It was a scam, right? And he was, come work with me, I'm so busy. And I was like, no, I want to do things on my own. And then he freaked out at me, yelled at me. And I was like, shit, you know, this business is tough. Then I met a guy, I've been a waiter all my life, and I served this guy, and he's like, man, you have such a great personality. You should become a real estate agent. I said, well, I have my license. And he's like, why don't you come to Prudential, talk to my boss? And buddy, the funny thing is, I went to, like, you don't get hired. You hire offices, right, in real estate. Right. You don't get hired. You hire who you want to work for, right? So I went to a few offices, but then I went to Prudential, and everybody asked me the same question: why do you want to be in real estate? Why do you want to be in real estate? Why do you want to do this? And I answer the same thing all the time. I said, listen, I enjoy helping people. We get paid well, but I want to help people. This is what we do. I want to help people find their home. I want to put them in the right situation, right? And I want to be honest and you know, and caring, right? And my boss said, you know what, that's good. He goes, but when you're making $150,000, $200,000 a year, can you keep that same mindset? Are you going to be still, hey, I care for the client, or you just care for the dollar? And I was blown away. I was like, I'm working here. I'm not going anywhere. This is my spot right here. Because he's the only one that didn't say, oh, that's good, but, you know, he said, that's a good thing, but are you going to be like this when you make money? Everyone else was, yeah, that's good, but you got to make money. You got to make money. Everyone's talking about money. Nobody cared about the client, right? So, and honestly, bro, I think what's kept me surviving for so long is that I'm as honest as it comes as an agent. I'm not going to say, you're making people make the biggest decisions of their life. You're not selling a chocolate bar. You know, you're selling something with $1 million, $500,000, whatever it may be. Right. And people's livelihoods are at stake, you know. Some people sell their houses because they have to. They literally make no money off the house. They have to go back to renting, whatever, right? I've been in so many situations, bro, where my client asked me to sell their house and they don't have enough money to pay me because they owe the bank so much money. You know what, bro? I'd rather make $1,000 than $10,000 as long as you're debt-free. You can rent the house. You don't owe anybody money. Because if you pay me, you're going to be $9,000 in debt, and that $8,000 more is not going to make me rich. It's not going to make me poor either. Right. You know? So I'd rather help you. So I've been in scenarios like that. And honestly, that's, I think, what keeps me. I tell people all the time, look, you can interview 3 real estate agents, right? You can tell the best agent in Mississauga, the second, the worst agent in Mississauga, or the middle agent. It doesn't matter. Right. If everybody has the same access to the same information, bro. Right. The number 1 agent in Mississauga doesn't have information that I don't have. Right. You have the exact same information. You have to work with who you like, who you trust. And you know what I do? I stand out more in that sense. I make sure people trust me and like me more than the other agent.
Okay, so let me ask you some burning real estate questions then. What is a buyer's market?
Well, right now it's a seller's market. A buyer's market is when you have excess. Like, for example, I'm going to give you an example. When I started this business, when I started working, bro, Mississauga, let's just say the Woodlands area, right? Yep. It would be, on average, 100 listings in the Woodlands community, right? Now there's 8. So when there's 8, you have 100 people fighting for those 8 houses. Right. It creates a seller's market. When you have 100 homes, then you have choices. You don't all have to bid for that one house. Yeah. Now we have 100 houses to choose from. So, you know, then you can negotiate the price of a house.
So why would people? What would make it a seller's market now? Is it because of the pandemic?
Yeah. So there's no inventory right now, right? Okay. So literally let's just say on an average Mississauga gets about 250 listings. We're probably getting about 25, 30.
Okay.
So now all those 500 shoppers only have to fight for those 25 houses.
Right.
So now you're getting, this house sold for 500,000 over asking, $300 over asking, 250,000 over asking. It's because there is no, there's no inventory. So you just have to buy what you want, right? And the problem is too, buddy, foreign investors are just killing us. Like, they come in and they buy whole entire floors of condos.
Right.
Whole floor. And then they leave it vacant. Right? And then, look, I was at a multiple offer situation. And Chinese agents, right, come to a lot of these presentations. And we bid on this house for $900,000. We bid $980,000. Right? I was talking to a couple of agents outside because there was like 20 of us outside. And from what I understood, the highest offer was $1,020,000, right? And all the other agents were talking, and I'm like, Apple. So, hold on, sure, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Take your time.
Open the door, son. Someone's at the door. So, anyways, oh my God,
it's all good, man. It's all good. I edit anyway. I edit stuff. It's all good.
Hold on. Who's that? Okay. Grab the apple. Bring it to Millie. Bring it to my sister, please. Why? Well, I'm an important phone call too. So, hi, how are you? Just put the dog down. Sorry. My apologies.
Yeah.
So, bro, you know, like, I'll tell you this. This happened, 7 years ago? I think it happened around the same thing where price just skyrocketed, right?
Uh-huh.
But it tailored off real quick. But this, buddy, honestly, as a real estate agent of 6 years, I have no idea what's going to happen now. People have been talking about, is a bubble going to burst? The price is going to drop? I'll tell this. Any agent, and I hate this. I hate because these agents are on TV, on CB24, talking so much shit. Oh, the market's this. I go, you're full of shit. You're lying to the consumer, you know, to give them false security. That's what I tell you. People like me because I'm honest. I tell you, listen, don't buy here or buy here now. And people ask me right now, Walter, should I buy? When the price drop? I go, listen, I have no idea. No agent has any idea what's going to happen in the next 6 months because we have no idea. We've never been through this. None of us have ever gone through this. None of us will, right? Ever again, hopefully. And so we have no idea. So you can't tell agent people, oh yeah, sell now, you get top dollar, or sell this. There's a whole bunch of nonsense to me because nobody knows. Nobody knows, buddy. Like I believe honestly that the prices. I think the bubble's gonna burst. The prices have to drop. You cannot a 70 detached at Square One. I mean at Heartland, 1,700 square feet, 70 detached, so 1.2 million. You cannot tell me that a 70 detached 1,700 can sell. Townhouses are 900,000 now.
Right.
Who makes that much money, bro?
Nobody makes that. That's crazy. It's crazy.
You know? So
okay, moving along. Let's ask a couple of more questions because I know people don't understand anything about real estate. Let me ask you, is it better to rent or buy?
It's always better to buy if you can afford. Right. Always better to afford. I mean, look, if you don't want to be tied down to something, if you want to live a free life, rent. Because if you want to move here, you want to expand, you want to move around, you want to do things in life, rent.
Yeah.
Because it makes no sense to buy because you're going to constantly be being moving. No, if you want to live a free lifestyle of change all the time, then I would rent. Right. You know, but it's always good to for your future. It's always good to buy because real estate always goes up. But the problem is now, I think it has to rectify. I think prices will drop. I don't think drastically. I think maybe 10-20%. But prices will drop because, bro. I can't afford a $2 million home, and I make good money.
Right.
You know, I can't afford, and all these houses are going for $2 million, $3 million, 1.5. Like, who? Is everybody a doctor now? Right? Is everybody a lawyer that I didn't know about? Like, where happened? Where's people getting all this money from?
Okay, so let me ask you this: how much do you need for a down payment on a home?
Because see, everything changes now, so they've changed the rules. So you need 5% minimum, right?
5% minimum. Okay.
But now you need 5% for the first $500,000.
Okay.
Then you need to come up with another, I believe it's, so if you want to buy a house with $20 million, with $1 million, you need 20% down. So you better have $200,000 if you want to buy $1 million home.
Wow. Okay, and what about credit scores. What do you need to know about
that?
credit?
Is the key. That is buddy. That is the key to everything in real estate. Your credit score. You cannot get anything without a good credit score. Nothing, unless you're gonna pay like a B lender, or a private lender, and then your mortgage rate's like 7%, 8%, 9%. You know what I mean? So, but your credit score should be no less than 670 is a good score. Anything under that, it's okay.
Okay.
Anything above, the banks now look over 620. They're okay in it. Before it was almost 670. Now it's 620. I think they're okay with. They'll give you a mortgage with that. Anything under that, you won't. But that is the key, man. You can't even get a rental with bad credit.
Right.
You know. That's very true. So you should always. That is the key. But if I could tell anybody, the first thing I ask people all the time, what's your credit score? Right. Well, I'll go, buddy. Just tell me right now, because if your credit score is 550, you're not getting a mortgage unless you have 30% down.
So what do they do if their credit score is bad, or if you don't have the best, or if you're not even close to 670? What can they do?
So if you can afford it, like if it shows on paper you can afford it, and you can qualify, but your credit score is shit, you will obviously be sent to a B lender or a private lender. Private lenders, those are rich people that just say, hey, we'll lend you money. You got to pay us back at this rate. You know, they got nothing
with
to
a crazy interest rate. Yeah.
Yeah. And same with a B lender. A B lender would be like, yo, bro, bank is 3%. Well, we're 7.5% for you. You know? But listen, when I started this business, bro, the interest rate was 6%.
Right.
That was the norm when I started. Nobody was bitching, complaining about 6%. That's what it was. It was 6%. Then it went down to 5%. And then it went crazy. It went down to 0, right?
So what's it at now? What's it holding at now? Like 3?
I think it's 3, but they're going up. And this is the problem, buddy. When the mortgage rates go up, people are going to lose their homes. People are going to lose their homes because everybody who locked in at 1%, you can't afford 5%.
Right. Yeah.
And unlike before, the bank usually just renew your mortgage. Because of this COVID now, the banks aren't just renewing your mortgage automatically. They're checking if you're employed or not now. Right? So not, I can lose my job, but I'm just going to renew my mortgage. They're not going to know. No, man. Now they're checking.
Wow.
Right? So,
okay, well, Walter, we've gone way over our time. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Like, I got to have you back in because I feel like I just scratched the surface on real estate right now. And I know a lot of people are going to be interested in something like this. So we're going to have you back on the show, no doubt.
I'd love to be back on here, buddy. I'd love to talk to you again, man. For sure.
All right, man. So we will do this again. Thank you again, Mr. Walter Steven Caceres. Y'all check him out at Walter Caceres Real Estate Group. Link me for the hookup on his social media. I'll also have a description in this show. So, Walter, again, thank you, my brother.
Sean, man, my love, man. Love you, bro. Stay safe, eh?
You too, man. All right.
Thanks, B. Ciao.
All right. Bye-bye.
This is Vex in the City.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. The April edition of Stash Dem or Dash Dem. Y'all know how we go already. If we supporting something, if we going forward with something, if we stashing something, they get this. And you know how it go if we dashing something, if we getting rid of something, then they get this.
And the Rockets, red flag. The bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our black was still there.
Now we're gonna do away with the core players. We're not gonna waste time with the core players who we know will be back next year. So Kyle, Fred, OG, Pascal, and even Boucher. We're including Boucher in the core. So we're not gonna waste time with the core players. We're only gonna talk about some of the bench players, the ancillary players, the players on the bubble. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Your April edition of Stash Dem, Dash Dem.
Your updated 2021 Toronto Raptors. Utah, Watanabe.
I mean, it's easy to root for this guy. It's easy to root for this youth simply because he was given an opportunity and he jumped on that opportunity. All right? Forget about the peripheral things. Forget about, the Japanese market, tapping into possibly a huge Japanese market. Forget about all of that. Just look at the youth as a man that can help your basketball team. He's 6'9". He's got length and he's got quickness. And he's, in my opinion, one of the better defensive players on an already good defensive team. He's very versatile. He can switch from position to position. And he's starting to assert himself. He's getting a little braver. He's getting a little more ballsy. He's shooting that shot. He's hitting his three. He's making things happen. If you're looking at the bench like one of the guys that's got to come back, Utah's got to come back. I don't care what you say. He's one of our better bench players. He's jumped on his opportunity. They've all had a chance. Every last one of them. He's made the most of his opportunity. Welcome back, Utah. We'll see you next year. Suit up. Congratulations on your new contract. I'm stashing that.
And the rocket, red flag, the bombs bursting in air.
DeAndre Bembry.
Okay, this you can ball. There's no doubt about it. This guy has some skills that the Raptors can utilize. He's a good bench player. He's a little versatile. He can guard more than one position. I like DeAndre Bembry. I think he's a good pro. It's in his third or fourth year now, and he's gotten an opportunity, and he's made the most of it. Here's the thing, though, with DeAndre Bembry. Maybe because they're asking him to do a little bit more than he's accustomed to with the ball handling. Maybe that's making him look out of place. But what's happening is you're finding a guy who's an absolute hustle and energy player being totally casual when he dribbles and handles the ball. It's baffling because this guy's a hustle guy. Like he sprints, he makes good cuts, but whenever he's handling the ball, he does things like he tries to do no-look passes or look-away passes, and they're telegraphed. They're terrible. The opposition can see those passes coming from a mile away. You're dribbling up the court, and all of a sudden, you feel like you got point guard skills, so you're very casual dribbling the ball, and it gets stolen. Not once, not twice, but like a lot of times. You got to clean that part of the game up. Unless it's because they're asking you to do a lot more than you're accustomed to. you're looking at a place. For example, if DeAndre was just a slasher, just a cleanup guy, a utility guy guarding multiple positions, he would look much better. But as of now, he kind of looks like he's on the fringe of being cut. I personally like DeAndre Bembry. I think I should stash him. However, the organization might not see it that way. They might see it as they can do better. DeAndre Bembry, he's close, but he's not good enough. So I'm going to go with the organization on this and say they're going to dash him.
And the Rockets, red flag. Malachi Flynn.
See, I knew you had it in you, Malachi. I knew you had it in you. You see, there are certain parts of the game you cannot teach. You either have it or you don't. Some people develop that part of the game later on in their careers, but they have to work really hard at it. Malachi Flynn has certain aspects of the game that he's ready for right now that you can't teach. His defensive instincts, his feel for the ball. I knew you could do it. I knew this little redskin, you could do it. I knew it. You got something special in you, Malachi. I'm looking very much forward to your development and see what you bring next year. Malachi, take my word though, this is what you need to do. You need to change your damn shoes, B. You need to get rid of those shoes that you keep slip sliding in. You're looking like Bambi when Bambi first started to walk. You need to change them shoes. Your shoes are the first step. The second step, get in the gym and take 1,000 jumpers a day. You're ahead of your class in terms of many aspects of your game. Your ball IQ, your defense, your instincts. You're already ahead of the game for a rookie. You get your shot up to par. You get an NBA shot. You work on your shot in the offseason like I know you're going to. You change those slippery crepe that you have on and get some real shoes with a real sponsor. Malachi Flynn's going to be a monster next year. Thus saith the Jones. Stash that.
And the Rockets, red flag. The bombs bursting in air.
Gary Trent Jr.
Okay, is there anybody that was more born to be Toronto than this Ute right here? This Ute looks like, tell the truth, Gary Trent Jr. looks like the average Ute that you would find down at the community center that's just tearing it up in any hood. The Ute that's never backing down from anybody, might be undersized a little bit, but he runs the court. He's the bully of the court. Gary Trent Jr. is the Ute that says, yo, who's got number 10 over there? And why is he scoring so much? You know what? Fuck that. I got number 10. I'm going to lock that up. And then proceed to lock that up. And he's the Ute that you can't really leave open because if he splashes 2-3 shots, he's going to talk all night. Gary Trent Jr. was born for T.O., was born for the Raptors. This Ute has an element to his game that you can't really teach. It's one of the, he's a dog. Let's put it that way. He's a dog. He's the guy, he's the Ute that you know has your back. He's the Ute that's at the bottom of the pile scrapping. He doesn't mind getting a technical for you or anybody. I'm most impressed with this trade for a number of reasons. Forget his youth, he's only 22. Forget this, in basically a week of being here, he scored 40 plus points, had a per that was like out of this world, that's like never been matched in like 20. Forget about all of that shit. Gary Trent Jr. is what this team needs going forward, because the intangibles he brings, you can't teach or trade for or develop. But we got that now. Are you asking me if I'm stashing that? What are you? Is you high? Of course I'm stashing that. Gary Trent Jr. all day.
Paul Watson.
Okay, here's another one of these guys that the Raptors have to make a decision about. I love Paul Watson. Let me respect his name. I love Paul Watson Jr. He's got good size, he can shoot the three, and he can play a little defense. The thing with Paul Watson, I think, is he's just not getting an opportunity enough to play. Maybe he's not being assertive enough. It's not in his personality. But if you make Paul Watson like the focal point of like a bench, or the focal point coming in as a sixth man, this guy's gonna light it up. This guy is another one of those certified Jones approval guys that you don't really see coming until he's dropping 25 a night, or he's at least getting in the high teens. This is a guy I know can ball, I know can help the Raptors. I think they feel so too. If he gets the I think this guy had one start this year, if I'm corrected. He had one start this year. He had one start last year, the bubble year. The one start he had in the bubble year, 22 points. The one start he had in this year, 30 plus points. Listen, you gotta mine something when you find, like you can find a little piece of gold. You gotta mine that. You gotta cultivate that. I think Paul Watson is a little bit of a diamond in the rough, and he's young enough that the Raptors are taking a chance on. They're gonna stash that, and so am I. Paul Watson Jr., stash that.
Rodney Hood.
Lord God, I don't even like saying the name too tough, but let's just call him Rodney. Rodney, again, he's a guy that I feel has good size at 6'8". The Raptors are very small, so a guy like at 6'8" should be able to help the team. He's got skills. He's been an important player on many teams, but here's the thing with Mr. Rodney. He's in a similar situation to like a Stanley Johnson. You've had a few different teams to make your mark on now. For whatever reason, you haven't. You've been good in the spots, but if it's the injuries, if it's a situation, whatever it is, you should be helping your teams more than you are. You're 6'8", you're pretty athletic, you've got a little bit of a shot, you know, you can play some defense, but even at your size alone, you should be making more of a name for yourself. You should be doing more. You've got an NBA body, you're not using it. Now again, that could be because of the injuries you sustained, but what is this? Is this a tri-league? Are we giving out complimentary we're giving out complimentary prizes for being a basketball looking player? Rodney, you gotta do more. I'm sorry, B. Like you gotta jump out every now and then, be a defensive stopper, maybe hit 2-3 threes in a row. Show the organization that you're a valuable piece going forward, because right now all they see is kind of like a $8 to $10 million price tag for a guy who's always on injured reserve. I'm sorry, Rodney. Good luck in your journeys, but unfortunately, the way we do it around here, we gotta dash you.
And the Rockets, Red Flag, Freddie Gillespie.
Now this is the perfect type of project that the Raptors have been known for. Snatching a guy who has a lot of potential right when he's just turning the corner. I see a lot of Pascal Siakam and Freddie Gillespie. A guy who started the game late, but it was a rapid learner. Rapid development curve. Now, I don't know what metric the Raptors used to find this youth, but whatever it was, they better bottle that and keep that formula. This guy looks like a diamond in the rough more than anything. He's got the right temperament. He's got the right attitude. You can't teach height. He's already got that. He has a good motor. And he's a bit of a tough guy. Like, I don't know about you, but I see guys bouncing off of him. I don't want to get caught with a wild Freddie G elbow or one of those wild fists that or arm or leg flying all over the place. This youth looks like he might hurt somebody. He's that guy. He's a gentle giant right up until the time you step to him. And then he proves himself. I like his development curve. I like his upside. I like his rim protection already as a rookie. He's only going to get better. I love the Freddie G pickup. We don't even have to mention how he made your boy Aaron Baines indispensable. Freddie G right now can get stashed on my team any day.
And the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
Camera, Birch.
See, again, this youth is more than perfect for this team. I know it might look extra convenient that he's Canadian, but Kem Birch is again perfect for this type of team, perfect for a Nick Nurse type of team. He's a good role big man, which is perfect for a guy like Lowry, who hasn't really had a role partner since Ibaka left. So Kem Birch is a good role man. He's a great athletic center in the mold of these young centers that you need nowadays. I mean, he's working on his shot. That's the only thing left for him, really. Kem Birch needs to work on his shot, but the rest of his game is tailor-made for what the Toronto Raptors need. A hustle big man, provides excellent rim protection, can be a role partner for Lowry and Van Vliet, can provide a little bit of toughness, rebounding. I mean, what's not to like? Kem Birch is a great fit for this team in the way that Boucher was when the season started. I can guarantee he's already cemented himself as a part of the core moving forward. He might even take a hometown discount just to stay here. Kem Birch is the ideal center for the Raptors moving forward. I'm very pleased with that. I think he can only get better. I think he was on teams in Orlando that really had no direction, and even then he still stood out to me. So I could only imagine what he will do on a team with a bunch of good pieces already, and he's just a complimentary piece. He's gonna do wonders here. He's a proud Canadian, a proud Raptor, and I'm more than happy and proud to stash that.
And the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air.
Now, usually this is where I give my opinion on the coaching staff and management. But we're going to save them this time. We're not doing a Nick Nurse and Masai critique this time. I mean, Masai made a guest appearance shortly after the trade deadline. You know, show his face, make sure people still remember him. But as far as I'm concerned, Masai, I'm not looking forward with Masai. I'm looking forward to this team without Masai. I'm preparing myself for the inevitable. So let's not even talk about Masai anymore. My interest in Masai is akin to Masai's interest in the Raptors. Nick Nurse, on the other hand, I still think he's a great coach. I still think he's the right coach for this team. He's got his flaws, he's got his warts, but we're going to leave him alone today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our 2021 roster moving forward into 2022. My recommendations on the team was as such. We will be much better next year. By the time I do a stash them and dash them for the next year, this team will look completely different. Right now, we're done.
Live from somewhere in the six, this is Vex in the City.
So now I'm here with Miss Lena. I wanted to do a little check-in. How you doing, Miss Lena?
Say that again?
I said, how you doing, Miss Lena?
Oh, I'm doing okay so far.
So far, you're good. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to check in now that the Raptors have, they've got about 15 games left in the season. They made a couple of acquisitions. They pick up a couple of taller guys to join the team. So what do you feel about the team now?
Doing a little better. Not really excellent playing, but they're doing much better. Okay,
so who has impressed you, or who has been good for them in this stretch?
As usual, Freddie.
Yeah.
Larry's down a bit, but I think because his foot was sick, so I kind of still give him,
right.
Thumb up.
Thumbs up for Lowry. Okay, what do you think about the new guys?
The new guys, they are okay now, only that they don't get play every time they play. They would be, sitting down most of the time. So when they really, what would I say now? When they really get a chance to play, they play.
Right. Right, I like them too. I think they're going in a good direction. I think the team is showing some promise. Like a lot of the younger guys are playing better now. So what do you think the outlook is for the rest of the season? Or what would you like to see for the rest of the season?
Well, just upgrade more, play more, that they can get in the playoffs.
Oh, so you want to see them in the playoffs?
Of course, they are the champion. So if it's the one term they would like to give away, try again.
Okay, I'm with you on that. See, I don't know if they're really trying to make the playoffs, but if Miss Lena says they need to get in the playoffs, the Raptors need to get in the playoffs, because
one weakness I see is, like as I said, if the other team is playing and said Freddie go to put the ball into the the net.
Yeah.
Two should be there to help him. They just leave it like that, and it's no good rebound, the rebound.
Now, I think that's by design. I think Nick Nurse does that because he doesn't want to send too many people for the rebound because he wants them to get back on defense. So that might just be a strategy that they use. But I agree with you. I think even because we have the new guys, you see the new guys at least try to get the rebounds. They get in there, they try to get some rebounds. So I think they're improving on that part. But again, it might be a strategy. And I think you're right. I think they do need to get in there and rebound more and help Freddie, Lowry when they do those layups.
Yes, definitely. But the new guy, the Black Seer one.
Yes, Gillespie, Freddie.
Yes.
Freddie Gillespie.
What number is he again? 24 or 22?
I'm not even sure,
Right. They could give him some chance, man, because he will help the team to move up. He really can play, and he can make the long jump. He can do that.
Yeah, I like him too. I think he's promising.
And Chris is good too. Chris, I know he's hurt, but he's doing very good too.
Yes. Chris Boucher, as always, is doing good, so I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about. What do you feel about the other new guy, Gary Trent Jr., the fair skin one with the dread hair? How you feel about him?
Number one for me, man. Me like him.
You like him? Oh,
yes.
So he take over Powell for you. He's a good replacement for Powell, you think?
Powell is number one. The guy is number one. There's nobody can take in his way how him play. I like Powell, but he's not with the team anymore. But I still give him thumb up.
Yes, I do too. And I think Gary Trent Jr. he might not be Powell right now, but you're right. I give him a thumbs up. He's done a good job so far. So
yes, he did. When he was here, he do a good job. But we're not going to focus on him now. We wish him all the best on the other team.
Yeah, that's right. He's on the other team. We wish him the best, but he's not with our team. So we're just going to focus on our team now. Right. Well, all right, Miss Lena, we just wanted to check in real quick and see how things were with you and to see how you feel about the outlook of the team so far.
Yeah. Join it now. They win tonight, and they didn't play that bad. When they start off, it was a bit slow, but already they know what they was doing. So they come back and win the game.
Right. And that's what we want to see. We
exactly.
Yeah. All right, so Miss Lena, thanks again for the check-in.
You're welcome.
We will be
welcome
back
anytime.
Anytime. All right, thank you.
All righty, have a good one now.
You too. Take care of yourself, Miss Lena.
Yes, bye-bye.
All right,
bye-bye. Please hold.
This is Vex in the City.
Public service announcement. During the course of this podcast, you may be exposed to sensitive material that may be deemed as offensive or objectionable. We here at Vex in the City understand your concerns, but please be advised that the views expressed are that of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views of our organization. Those who may be uncomfortable with the subject matter presented, we offer the following sincere and heartfelt statement.
We calling this one the Isolation Man.
Live from somewhere in the six. This is Vex in the City.
You want to see, and all I see is me for you and you for me. Oh, I cannot hide the way I feel inside. I don't know why, but every day I wanna cry. But if I give you one more try, to these rules please you abide. And if I mean anything to you, would it make everything alright?
off with Vex in the city.
Is contacted, I attract clientele. My mic check is life or death, breathing a sniper's breath. I exhale the yellow smoke of Buddha through righteous steps, deep like the shining, sparkle like a diamond, sneaker Uzi on the Allen, and my army jacket lining hit the earth like a comet invasion. Nazis like the Afrocentric Asian, half man, half amazing. Cause in my physical, I can't express through song. Delete stress like Motrin, then extend strong. I drink my wet with Medusa, give her shotguns in hell from the split that I lift and inhale. It ain't hard to tell.
It sounds so good to me. You gotta get on up, hey, hey, hey. You gotta get on up now. Say it again, you're the same. Get on up, oh, gotta get on up. You gotta get on up now. Wait a minute, let me tell you. Everybody grab somebody, turn his mother into a party. Fellas, say good ladies, and ladies go into show, man. There's no need to be afraid. Friday night, let's all get paid. Positive is the attitude, negative is not the move. No, no, you gotta get on up. You gotta get on up now. Let's say it again, you gotta get on up.
Welcome to the 6. It's time to get facts in the city.
Hey. Trips that you plan for the next whole week. Bands too long for a nigga so cheap. And your flex OD, and sex OD. You got it, girl, you got it. You got it, girl, you got it. Yeah. Pretty little thing, you got a bag and now you wildin'. You just took it off the line, no mileage. Way they hitting you, the DM looking violent. Talking while you come around and now they silent. Blew the Cooper 17, no guidance. You be staying low, but you know what the fight is. Ain't never got you know it being modest. Poppin' shit, but only cause you know you poppin', yeah. You got it, girl, you got it. Hey. You got it, girl, you got it.
Little baby in a bag and I'm Birkin. No 9 to 5, put the work in. Laws and all, I love them all. To me, you're perfect. Baby girl, you got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. You got it, girl. I don't wanna play no games, play no games. Fuck around, give you my last name. You know you tired of the same damn thing. That's okay, cause baby, you
got it, girl, you got it. Hey. You got it, girl, you got it.
Broke niggas stand to the left. My rich niggas stand to the right. Lil' mama, she keep looking at me. I'ma knock the pussy out like white night. Hit it with the left, hit it with the right. I'ma knock the pussy out like white night. Hit it with the left, hit it with the right. I'ma knock the pussy out like white night. If you know me, you know this ain't my feng shui. Certified everywhere, ain't got a print resume. Take out LA. Talk crazy, I pull up underlay. RP to Nate, dog. I had to regulate. Pocket rocket fire, watch him disintegrate. It's a short load, them ain't on the illustrate. Third line steak, all on my dinner plate. Your main beat says she wanna make a sex tape. Rich nigga, I can never be a broke nigga. Broke niggas, I can never get along with them. Always been hated since a little nigga. This forever pussy nigga gotta deal with it, nigga. Broke niggas stand to the left. My rich niggas stand to the right. Lil' mama, she keep looking at me. I'ma knock the pussy out like white night. Hit it with the left, hit it with the right. I'ma knock the pussy out like white night. Hit it with the left, hit it with the right. I'ma knock the pussy out like white night.
Gas me, how we end up in the backseat. Just tryna get to the bag. We on the same page, in the same way. Only keep the fam around me, so let me know what it's gon' be. I don't plan on getting no sleep. While we doing nothing, moving too fast. Candy paint with the windows all black, seats creme brulee. What they gon' say? With the top down, screaming money, anything. We up till 6 in the morning.
Live from somewhere in the 6. This is Vex in the City.
When we gon' slide, baby, when we gon' slide. Hey, hey. Up all night, baby, when we gon' slide. Oh, yeah, yeah. Baby, when we gon' slide, 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 slide.
Hey, plug up. I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk. Pick him up in a space coupe, I don't let my plug walk. New freak had to cut my other little bitch off. Ooh. 50K, you could come and book a nigga for a plug walk. You can reach me. Space coupe like E.T. It's the plug tryna call me. I was up chopping early in the morning. Ooh, on the wave like a durag. Pussy nigga calling for his boo bag. Plug walk, Gucci on my shoe rack. Walk up in the house till I ran into the plug. Till I ran into the mud. I done ran into some racks. I done ran into your girl. Why the plug show me love? I done came up from a dub. Plug walk. I don't even understand how the fuck my plug talk. Pick him up in a space coupe, I don't let my plug walk. New freak had to cut my other little bitch off.
No make me get vexed.
50K,
This for my though, special delivery. Spit like this, get my wrist all glittery. Get cake, snakes get slithery. Lean in, show y'all the mean and the chivalry. Rap ruler, you can ask Buddha. Right jab like Zab Judah. Every member on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. Spark, twist in the Philly. And good humor, don't be silly. It's gravy, baby, I got it all smothered. Like makeup, I got it all covered. You want a jewel? Don't be cruel. It's authentic. Don't be fooled by these phony accusations, backlash and slanders, front and they publicity stunts and propaganda. Keep it private, cause I'm the commander in chief. I never stop like beef. Give me a break, I might shake the building. Place safe, vacate all women and children. I spit it out. Special delivery.
I want that.
Special delivery.
I need that.
Special delivery.
Can I have that?
Special delivery.
Give it to me.
Special delivery.
I want that.
Special delivery.
I need that.
Special delivery.
Can I have that?
What the fuck though? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go. Wow, get the fuck though. I don't bluff, bro. Aiming at your head like a buffalo. You a roughneck, I'm a cutthroat. You a tough guy. That's enough jokes. Then the sun died. The night is young though. The diamond still shine. In a rough hole. What the fuck though? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, where the ones go? It's a shit show. Put you front row. Talking shit, bro. Let your tongue show. Money over bitches and above hoes. That is still my favorite love quote. Put the gun aside. What the fuck for? I sleep with the gun. And she don't snow. What the fuck, yo? Where the love go? Trade the ski mask. Put a muzzle. It's a bloodbath. Where the suns go? It's a Swiss beat. That the drums go. If she's iffy, that the drugs go. If she's simply double cup toast, I got a duffel full of hundos. That the love go. Where's the uproar? What the fuck though? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go. Wow, get the fuck though. I don't bluff, bro. Aiming at your head like a buffalo. What the fuck though? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2, I let one go. Wow, get the fuck though. I don't bluff, bro. Aiming at your head like a buffalo.
She wanna fuck with
You're listening to Vex in the City with your host, Sean Jones.
Done them off with Vex in the City.
I told her, ooh, shawty wanna put me inside of the cool. I can take you out everywhere, fuck a jet fare. Versace hotel with Versace roll. Like it when you let down your hair with no clothes. And I say to myself, cause I never like these hoes. If she only like the guap red, like these hoes. Why would I waste my time on a shorty that don't got me on the front of her mind? Especially when you get designed and I want it down. And the Billy came with the wings like a number 9.
through, just us two. I like it cause you cut how I'm cut too. Come through, just us two. I like it cause you cut how I'm cut too. Hey, she wanna fuck with the woo. She wanna fuck with the woo. She wanna fuck with the woo. She wanna fuck with the woo.
That's my kind of bitch. She be saying some shit like when you gon' fly me in private so I can land on that dick. She said tricks for kids, she don't fall for the tricks. She can handle her own, she just wants some dick. Got that big Birkin bag worth 5-6 figures. You might be out your league, can you buy that nigga? I pull up on the top, going on the dawn, I'm the dawn. You can fuck around if you want, out in Bali. Big swing, big dress, big ass, make it squirt and make a big mess. Before we done, she asked what we gonna do it next. So what it fucked up the seats in the jet.
I put the new 4G's on the G. I trap into the bloody bottoms is underneath. Cause all my niggas got it out the streets. I keep 100 racks inside my jeans. I remember hitting them all with the whole team. Now a nigga can't answer calls cause I'm balling. I was waking up getting racks in the morning. I was broke, now I'm rich, these niggas salty. All this designer on my body got me drip. Straight up out the objects, I'm a big trip. If I got up on a lean, I'ma sip. I run the racks up with my queen like London and Nip. But I got rich on all these niggas, I didn't forget back. I had to go through the struggle, I didn't forget that. I hopped inside of the Maybach and now I can sit back. These bitches know me now, cause I got them big racks. Cause I'm getting money now, I know you heard that. Young nigga on the corner, bitch, I had to serve crack. Uncle fronted me some peas, had to get them birds back. We came up on dirty money, I gave it a bird back. Cut off the brain and I gave my bitch a new coupe. Either you from the y'all gang or you Subaru. Got a New Orleans bitch, him in that pussy voodoo. And I'm that nigga now, who knew? I put the new 4G's on the G. I trap into the bloody bottoms is underneath. Cause all my niggas got it out the streets. I keep 100 racks inside my jeans. I remember hitting them all with the whole team. Now a nigga can't answer call cause I'm balling. I was waking up getting racks in the morning. I was broke, now I'm rich, these niggas talking.
This is Vax in the City.
And mid on edges, is it?
Bossy.
I came to rap it up, do my thing. Sabi put me on the gram and a remix thing. Pull tight Wiley with the Pacino flow. Godfather part 2, call me De Niro. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. Disrespect, man, get a slap on the chin. Man a king in a top, but Larry, man a big DJ, Hawks, Megan and Harry. Boss, yeah, man a boss, I make your girl melt like a toasty. I've been this way someday, and I write for myself, no ghosting.
Needs a boy got money in a bank on, ready for roll and blaze up this tank on. Got the girls from Jamwan to Hong Kong, the girl them champion in it.
Bossy, bossy, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like a bossy. I fly around the world cause I'm bossy.
To my girls on the floor, just kill it, kill it. To my girls on the floor, just kill it, kill it, kill it.
Love me now, tell you all of them say hate me more, but we still gon' leave. Them can't cut me speed and we gon' be forevermore, cause we still gon' leave.
My cash me fight, well, me make me call and put it down and fast walk and take it away. When me back them up on this, the fast them and tell me say man a bad man. Well, some of they have to fade away. Try to stop me youth, them food them small, they have to dead today. I show you have to go call it, not to mental dish again. Moses him a musician and him a just do away. Try for this ration, man a work off a deadly pray. Me that love to sell platinum every other day. On the radio station when me music them not stop pray. Well that to still I see when me pray but me enemy.
Love me now, or hate me more, but we still gon' leave.
How I keep a secret?
We gon' be forevermore, cause we still gon' leave.
Some man a make them money off the spending them break. And the fast them a work off a minimum rate. And about this, after when me gone in me grave, them a fight for everything, that's why the Rasta man race. And some mean a send people, so I get the brave. Me buy me my house, and me brother live in no crate. Me father him a Rasta, so him buy a small tape. Anyway, man a Jamaican cause a platinum me rate. I'm a brand new GS and all me diamond shit. Anyway, not a bullet but still I see I'm a brave. When we change up your polygons and all the rest, and listen to the DJ in a rage, so no better.
Love me now, or hate me more, but we still gon' leave.
I want to keep on telling them
we gon' be forevermore, cause we still gon' leave.
Yo, it's PPP, motherfucker. Bricks, motherfucker. Pulled your hoe and I ain't rich, motherfucker. Roll through the hood, 20-inch, motherfucker. Bend the rims till they won't spin, motherfucker. I know y'all on it. Baby shopping at the mall on it. Haters wanna sick dogs on it. A wall to wall, Doc, I never get cornered. Blast out while twins got the car warming. Rockwaller, submitting the hot lava. Me and my crew go back like that's my mama. He trying to creep up, yo, watch my back. I'ma take his car where the chop shop is at.
Love me now, or hate me more, but we still gon' leave. Cause we gon' be
Live from somewhere in the six. This is Vex in the City.
or hate me more, but we still gon' leave. Cause we gon' be
back to the
forevermore,
East Coast, West Coast, North Coast,
still
South Coast.
gon' leave.
And all freedom fighters.
This is Vex in the City.
This is Vex in the City.
Yes, we've come to the end of another show. Much love, mad thanks to Antoinette Ellis of ACE and Company Limited, my man Walter Caceres of the Walter Caceres Real Estate Group. Big shout out to Miss Lena once again for checking in and giving in her opinion and her check-in on our team. Also, much respect to DMX and Black Rob, who unfortunately passed. I also forgot in my tributes to give tribute to Humpty Hump, Shock G of Digital Underground also passed away. So we want to give our respects to him as well. And I forgot to mention in my tribute to DMX, one of the main reasons why he's DMX. And that's because he was an incredible actor. His role in Belly is something that will never be reproduced. And he did a lot of, let's put it this way, he surprised a lot of people with his acting chops. And we gotta respect that as well. We lost not only a great musician, but also a pretty good actor. And as we know, rappers turn actors don't always turn out well, but he was one of the better ones. So respect to DMX, respect to all of you for tuning into my show this month. Be on the lookout for more Vex in the City as always. Jones out.